Finish him.
Oh, I've been waiting a long time for this.
Excellent. Fatality.
Yeah, take that, you stupid duck hunt dog. Looks good up there. All right, which game should I play now? Let's see here. What about Legend of Zelda 2? Oh man, I haven't played this one in a long time. But unfortunately, I don't think I have the instruction manual for this. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, that's alright. This game can't be that hard, right? My God, 4 years it took me to beat that? You golden motherfucker. You want to be plated with gold? Fine, we'll just try a golden shower on for size. What the hell? I'm not reviewing you. Get away from me! I said no. I hate that game. I'm not reviewing you. Oh, come on. I just want to take a leak. Get away from me.
Hey, Irate Gamer. This is Ernie Hudson, Winston Zedmore from, Ghostbusters, Oz, The Anoraks of Cradle, just in a few film and TV shows.
Well, what? Ernie Hudson? What are you doing to my show?
I just want to ask you this. Can you play the Ghostbuster game?
All right, fine. I'll review it. Ah, shit. Ghostbusters is one of my favorite movies from the 1980s, and it's a movie that still stands up to this day. It's because of its great cast, ghost-busting fun, and humor that transcends generations.
Let's talk seriously. Now, for the entrapment, we're going to have to ask you for 4 big ones, $4,000 for
I had no idea it'd be so much. I won't pay it.
Well, that's all right. We can just put it right back in there. Thank you.
We certainly can, Dr. Beckman.
No!
And that song? Gotta love that song. When I think back on the video game of the same name, however, I had pixelated nightmares. This game just wasn't bad, it was god-awful. Now, in order to review Ghostbusters here, which came out in 1988, well, we're gonna have to rewind all the way back to 1984 to check out the Atari version. And before checking out this Atari version, well, we have to rewind even more back to 1983 when the movie was just being greenlit to get the full scope of this story. So yep, the year is 1983, and the movie studio that greenlit Ghostbusters gave the director of this film just under a year to write, film, edit, and release Ghostbusters in time for a summer 1984 movie release. The end result, of course, was a rush job that worked out absolutely perfectly. But when Activision picked up the rights to create the Ghostbusters video game, they were also given a rush job timeline of only 6 weeks to create, code, playtest, and release this Atari game, which would also release just in time for the movie. Wait a minute, 6 weeks? I've never heard this story before. E.T.? Oh my god, not this bullshit again. And we all know how that story went. And of course, since this video game was rushed through production, we were given another game that was riddled with problems. Terrible controls, weird gameplay, and I don't even know how to get the hell off this screen. Ah! come on! I've got one red button, it's not even working! Piece of shit. So yep, this video is nothing but, well, a piece of shit, like I said. But I have to say the most annoying part of this video game is that you spend most of your time driving to every destination on the screen. And of course the main problem is look how big of a monster dick car they give us. And they couldn't shrink this shit down just a bit? Come on. This thing practically takes over most of the screen. Like a dick. In the game of Ghostbusters, why are we driving everywhere? I just want to sit down and bust some ghosts. Like right here. And of course this is over before we know it. And we're back to, more driving. About to run your ass into a tree. In fact, the main reason why you drive around in this game so much is because at one point, the creator of this game actually intended this to be a driving game. A Ghostbusters driving game? Can you actually imagine what that shit would have looked like? Oh, for crying out loud.
What has that got to do with it?
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
Now fast forward to 1988, which coincidentally is the first year that the Nintendo Power magazine came out, and we find that the Nintendo is gaining steam. And this is also the year that the Nintendo keeps increasing in popularity. So Activision decided that, hey, wait a minute, hey, let's bring Ghostbusters to this console. After all, it was a kick-ass movie. But instead of just creating an all-new game off the hit movie, well, they decided to dust off that old Atari game and just upgrade the graphics and gameplay. But the problem is, you just can't shine a turd and get diamonds. Actually, you get a golden shiny turd, like this bullshit right here. Wait a minute, did I just pee on this? Well, anyway, start this game up, and we instantly see the differences and similarities of the original Atari game. But don't let this game deceive you, because we're gonna have to exercise the shit out of this satanic hellspawn of a game, because there's hardly any fun Easter egg references from the movie here. You want ghosts? Well, how about some generic ghosts? Want that creepy ghost librarian? The taxi driver ghost? Or Slimer to show up? Well, here, we have this, white blobby bullshit. The hell's that? Want iconic scenes and backgrounds like this elevator or the ballroom to run around in? Well, check this out. We've got a gas station. Gas station? Of all the upgrades this game gives us, some asshole really thought we could use a gas station? I'm about to shove this pump up your ass, Activision. You know what? I'm done with this game. I can't take it anymore. Get out of my way. I'm out of here. Don't you dare try to stop me. He slimed me. Either that or he jizzed all over my face. Gross. Alright, so once getting back into the game, we get to drive around the screen until one of these city blocks lights up, signifying that there's a ghost to bust.
We got one!
Yep, we sure do. Head over here and... what's that say there? I can't get in because we need a beam. How's my character not have a beam already? You'd think as a Ghostbuster, you'd be at the ready for this kind of shit, but no, this is the Activision version of Ghostbusters. But alright, fine, I'll play ball. If we head over to the shop here, we can go pick one up. Now at this point, I'm going to do some foreshadowing here. I'll let you guys know that this damn equipment gathering bullshit has led to some childhood gaming trauma that's lasted over 20 years. But hold on, we'll get to all this. I just have to work up to it so I can let this shit simmer for a while. So just like with the Atari version, we'll be driving everywhere in this game. And on the way to our destinations, we'll have to avoid all kinds of other cars and obstacles, like we're playing a driving game like Spy Hunter or something. Come on, I don't have time for this! Alright, so once at the shop, we have our beam, so pick that up. And we have all this money left over, so let's grab a few more items here. Not sure what this stuff does, but sounds fancy enough, so guess I gotta have it. Alright, now time to bust some ghosts! Well, not so fast there, buddy, because now it looks like we need a trap. Now wait a minute, where the hell was a trap at? I don't remember seeing that at the store. Now, if you've already played this game before and you know where the trap is, well, I want you to hold on to this precious moment for a few seconds while I paint you a picture. Imagine it's 1988, and only a handful of games have been released on the NES. Now, all of them are pretty much straightforward in gameplay. Now I want you to imagine a 10-year-old Chris going to the video game store to rent this game for the weekend. I start playing the game, I head to the shop, purchase the ghost beam, and now I'm ready to bust some ghosts. But the game says, hey, wait a minute, you need a ghost trap. Well, maybe I overlooked this item at the store. So I do more driving, head back, and look at that, no ghost trap, just like I thought. Well, maybe this is a scavenger hunt type of game like Castlevania 2. Well, maybe our trap is at the HQ building. So do more driving, more speeding, and nope, not there either. Well, maybe the trap is at this GS icon. So I do more driving, and we arrive at the game's gas station. Which, why is this feature in the game if you're busting ghosts? This has nothing to do with Ghostbusters. But where the hell is that trap? And I can't go anywhere else in this game because I need the one thing I can't find. Drive back to the shop? Not there, asshole. Try the HQ? No go either. Great, let's just drive and drive and drive some more. What the hell? Ah, damn it, I ran out of gas? You pinheaded prick. So where the hell is this thing? I spent the whole weekend trying to figure this problem out. But nope, didn't find it, which equaled a whole video game weekend ruined for the 10-year-old Chris. Now fast forward 20 years later when I'm first starting to do the Irate Gamer series, and I thought, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pick up that Ghostbusters game and see if I can find that trap again. Because surely by now the answer to what I'm looking for is online. And it was then when I made this startling conclusion. Oh, it's in the shop. You just have to keep pushing down to reach the second page. A second page? 20 goddamn years and there was a second page all this time? What the fuck?
Oh, I hate you. I hate your family. I hate your Atari game. I hate your sequel. And don't even get me started on that 2016 movie reboot garbage. Ah!
I cannot believe that there was a second page this entire time. And there's nothing even on this page to signify that there's a second one. An arrow would have been nice, or a page number, but no, we don't get any of that. Thanks, Activision. Thanks a lot, you Donkey Kong slub my ding-dong all day long, you fucking dickface. And if this trap is so valuable that you can't even advance in the game without it, then why the hell are they placing it on page 2? Instead, they place this fucking ghost horn right here for us to look at. 30 years later and I still don't know what the hell this thing does. And besides that, there are less than 10 items you can find in this shop. You mean to tell me you can't fit this all on one page? Damn it, Activision, 20 years! 20 damn years. Alright, so now that I finally have my trap, well, I'm so happy I'm about to bust my nut all over these damn ghosts. Because now, I can finally see what the hell lies next in this game. Well, after I'm done driving my happy ass all the way over there. Yep, and it's about damn time. Here we have new screens to look at, and they are glorious. Just capture the ghost in your streams, bring them to the trap, hit the button, and bam! Easy money in the bank. Alright, and I got all 4. And they were even nice enough to give us a couple different scenes to run around in. Drop the trap, bust some ghosts, and don't cross those streams.
Don't cross the streams.
Unfortunately, it would have been nice to have that ballroom scene thrown into the mix, but since they can't even create a shopping experience worth a shit, why hold it against them at this point? And now you might be asking yourselves, well, what the hell am I gathering up all these ghosts for? Well, it's to collect enough money to upgrade your equipment to take on the final boss, which is located in this building right here, marked Zool. And the only way to get inside this building is to advance far enough in the game until it unlocks for you. Hot damn, it's open! Head over to the building and... more driving? Ah, damn it! Now the weird thing about this game is that you can drive around, bust ghosts, and upgrade your equipment until the building unlocks, or you can take the easy route and just sit there for 5 minutes and wait for the Zool building to automatically open up by itself. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. I can just sit here and wait for 5 minutes for that PKE meter at the bottom of the screen to ratchet up to around 9,000, and the building just opens up automatically? Are you serious? What the fuck is that about? Who the hell codes a game that if you just sit there, this building will magically unlock for you without doing anything? You know, this little feature would have been nice to know about 30 years ago. And once getting in the Zool building, well, we see our 3 Ghostbusters heading inside. Wait a minute, 3 Ghostbusters? Where the hell's Winston at? I mean, after all, this is the upgraded version, and we can't even get a Winston in the only cutscene of the entire game? Oh, but just wait, it gets worse. Now we enter into this stairwell, which, nice, actually based off the movie. But now we're entering into a whole new shitstorm, because to reach the final boss of this game, well, we have to climb all these steps. And the main problem lies in actually climbing these bastards. Now during your entire trip up the stairwell, these 4 ghosts right here are going to stay on screen at all times. And of course, the main problem in this stairwell is to move forward, well, you can't just press the directional pad. You have to actually push the A button, which will move you forward one step. Oh, come on, that's it. Press that button again, and you'll move another small step forward. Oh my God, are you shitting me right now? Well, I wish I was, because you'll be trying to get up these stairs and pushing this button so many dang times that your fingers will start bleeding from the repetition. Oh, I just had to get that trap, didn't I? Ugh. And when these ghosts start coming at you, there's nowhere to run. And I'm 3 guys deep here, which makes me a huge-ass target. And good luck trying to defend yourself here, because the other button does jack shit. All you can do is drop some ghost food that you bought at the shop, which will attract them to it, so you can climb the stairs safely. But the problem is, as soon as you move off the screen, well, the ghosts just come back at you again. Ah, get the hell away from me! Oh, my poor fingers. Now I tried as hard as I could to get up this stairwell, and the best I could do was, well, reaching stairwell 11. And if you're wondering how many floors actually exist in this level, well, there's a grand total of 22, which is also the actual number of floors in the movie. Look, I appreciate the attempt to be movie accurate here, but why give us 22 floors of bullshit when you can't even make Slimer the right color? And just look at this kill screen you get. Bad luck, you cannot save the city of New York. Well, you didn't really give me a chance there, buddy, with all this bullshit button pressing going on. Couldn't even give me a proton pack to defend myself. Maybe if you took more than 6 weeks to produce this game, I could have had a chance. Why not flip us off too while you're at it? Now at this point I could probably just pop in the Game Genie and fast forward my happy ass all the way up to the top of the stairwell, but I'm sure a bunch of assholes will pop out of the woodwork and go, "Oh my God, AVGN did that, you can't do that." Yeah, I know. So you know what I'll do? I'll just montage my way up to the top. It's the final countdown! What the hell? Copyright claim? Ah, damn it, YouTube, you suck! That was a perfect song, too. Alright, well, fine. Instead of speed racing my way to the top with a Game Genie, because AVGN did just that, I'll just go ahead and transition myself to the top of this stupid thing. Alright, so you guys happy now? There's no AVGN copying, no shit pickle, no nothing. So, alright, leave me alone. I'm just trying to get through this game and then I'll be out of here. Toasty! Alright, so now we finally arrive at probably one of the most cool screens of the game. We've got Stay Puft down here, Stone Dogs, and White Slimers. Alright, fine, I don't care at this point, but we've also got the main boss of this Zool building, Zool herself. Wait a minute, that's Zool. This is Gozer. Well, this is confusing. Why the hell did they call this the Zool building when it's clearly the Gozer building? How do they get stuff like this wrong while still managing to accurately give us 22 floors of ghost-busting nonsense? This selective movie accuracy thing just pisses me off. Toasty! And of course, true to fashion, taking down this boss is also a pain, since you have to hit her 8 times without hitting the bottom of the screen, and if you do that, Gozer's health returns to normal and you have to do it all over again. Stop going to the bottom of the screen! How the hell am I supposed to do this? This boss is tough!
To borrow from Ghostbusters, man, you got the tools, you got the talent, and when someone asks you if you're a god, you always say yes.
Oh, good advice, Winston. Let's do this! Take this, Gozer!
This chick is toast!
So after turning her into toast, we get an ending congratulating us on our victory. Or should I say, congratulation? Oh my God, please make this shit stop. Not only do we get congratulated, but we also get proved. You know, for a game that only has 5 sentences in it, it's not like the game's proofreader was overburdened or anything. So how the hell does this stuff even happen? And of course, misspellings aside, what the hell does this sentence even mean? You prove the justice of our culture? Who the hell even says this? I've seen Ghostbusters like 50 times, and not once did I think to say, you know what? These guys just beat Gozer. I think they just proved the justice of our culture. Ugh, utter nonsense.
Having fun. Know that we Ghostbusters, we got your back. Take care, Chris.
Now that is an ending.
In a world where bad video games need reviewing. Many reviewers have fallen. Now, only 2 remain.
Right there, dirtbags!
Oh no! It's Irate Tracy!
Eat that copper!
Just as I thought, bootlegging NES games again. And just look at this, Dick Tracy for the NES? Pathetic. Looks like I'll be taking this game downtown for further review. All right, boys, book 'em, tag 'em. This case is all locked up. Oh, my first day on the job. I'm so excited. Oh man, I broke my camera. Oh, what a terrible day. Dick Tracy is one of my favorite movies from 1990, and it's a film that doesn't seem to get much love these days, which is a shame, because they had tons of action, great villains, and it was a great popcorn movie back in the day for us kids.
Together, we will own this town.
Now, what made this film so great was the sheer timing of its release to the public. The movie Batman had just cleaned up in the box office 1 year prior in 1989, and it was an awesome film that made us crave more superhero movies.
I'm Batman.
Especially since all we had up until then was Superman, and those had pretty much gone off the rails by the 1980s.
Watch the trees. I guess it died of acid indigestion.
Ugh, and it pretty much goes on and on like that. So after the summer of Batman, well, kids wanted more. And once all the advertising began hitting for Dick Tracy in 1990, well, they basically packaged this film as the next Batman-like comic book movie, and we were instantly sold. And the best thing was that we didn't just get one main villain, but we got like 20 of them all thrown into the same movie together. How could you go wrong with that formula? And this movie was like the ultimate Dick Tracy's fan wet dream come true, but a lot less stickier. And even though some of the coolest looking gangsters were only on screen for like 5 seconds, we still knew all their names.
I'm in.
They were just really cool. And everything about this movie had shaped up to be pretty great.
That you are guilty of attempting to bribe an officer of the law.
Hey.
Well, all except for this bullshit casting of Madonna, who's supposed to be the hot bombshell.
You're right, Tracy. Why would you get mixed up with me? I'm a cheap floozy to you.
Ugh, look, I know she was a big deal at the time, but son of a bitch. Every time she's on screen, she grinds this film down to a screeching halt.
Oh, good God, please no.
And she's the hot bombshell? Ugh, I want to bang her with Mega Man's dick. But talk about an all-star roster. We have Al Pacino as Big Boy, Dustin Hoffman as Mumbles, James Caan as Spud Spadoli, and then you had Flat Top, Itchy, Little Face, the Brow, Prune Face, the Rodent, the Blank, the Influence, the Nerd. Oh, and that nerd with that shit pickle-eating grin makes me sick.
Extra, read all about it.
And whoever was in charge of promotional movie tie-ins, give this guy an award, because I didn't know one kid in my school that didn't want to see this movie. Toy stores carried Dick Tracy toys, McDonald's did a huge tie-in with those drinking cups, and you remember the McDonald's scratch-off ticket game? I sure do. And back in the day, I remember going to McDonald's and scratching off a bunch of these things. And on the one side here, well, you had to scratch off one of these boxes to see if you win a prize. Try again, rub off box A. All right, we are hot on the trail. Oh, look at that. Stop, you win. $1 off Big Mac or quarter pounder of cheese. Can you imagine the looks I'd get if I tried redeeming this shit today? And if that wasn't enough for you, on the other side, well, we get another chance to rub off this mugshot here. And if we reveal any of these characters, well, we win that prize. But I am curious who I got in this mugshot here, so let's scratch this off. And the mugshot is of Whip Shoot. What kind of bullshit is this? He wasn't in the movie. Oh, piece of shit. And who can forget this awesome Dick Tracy toy? The two-way wristwatch offered by Playmates. Oh man, I used to have one of these as a kid. Can't wait to open this thing up and play with it now. So you like that? Get a little unboxing action on this video. All right, there it is. Now the batteries are dead now, but this thing used to light up and make sounds. Damn, this thing was cool. Okay, maybe it wasn't that cool, but I sure dug it. Just don't let the nostalgic critic near this thing, or I'll probably make another dumb 50-minute like Pink Floyd tribute video to it without even reviewing the damn thing. As a kid who loved to play video games, well, I just had to run out and play this video game after I watched the movie. Rented this from the video store I did, and then wanting to rocket launch this piece of shit into the sun I wished. Now, I even hate to dust this bag of ass pixels off, but since this month marks the 30th anniversary of the Dick Tracy movie, it's a case I'm willing to accept. Turn this game on and... well, at least the very first scene of this game is pretty reminiscent of the movie. That's pretty fun. But don't let this intro fool you into a false sense of security, because the rest of this game is pure unadulterated bullshit. Now, as a kid, what would you like to do in a Dick Tracy video game after seeing the movie? Have police shootouts with all these cool gangsters? Or sit at a desk solving cases and filing paperwork? If we start the game... ah, fucker nuts. So yep, get ready to solve cases, look at mugshots, interrogate the bad guys, look at more mugshots, fall asleep, and be prepared to drive, and drive some more. Did we get enough of this bullshit with that Ghostbusters NES game I reviewed last time? Ugh. Why does this driving shit keep coming full circle? And to make matters worse, the controls are so damn fucker fickle wonky, I can't even turn around like I want to half the time. Where the hell are you going, numbnuts? Oh my god, you suck! And during the game, you'll find clues that'll lead you to certain buildings around town that you'll have to visit. The problem is that they don't just give you a few city blocks to drive through, but a whole goddamn metropolis to get lost in! Jesus! This is worse than a Legend of Zelda map. Remember this Death Mountain shitty titty twister right here? My god, this was insane. But on the Dick Tracy map, nothing is labeled. I've got all these building snipers shooting at me endlessly. Who the hell asked for a Dick Tracy game like this? I sure didn't. The only upside here is when you get out of your car to walk around, it's kinda reminiscent of the NES Ninja Turtles game. But they even ruined this aspect of the game too, since you can't even walk past the current screen that you're on. Ugh, well at least there's none of those stupid street sweepers around. Ah, damn it to hell! Now to make matters even worse, if we take a look at the Dick Tracy game for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis, which I didn't even know existed up until a week ago, I was shocked to find that this was the Dick Tracy game I always wanted to see! A side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game presented in actual stages. Not constantly driving around town like, well, Dick. And they even added this cool mechanic where you can shoot the bad guys in the foreground and the background. Then, at the end of each level, you face off against one of the movie's bad guys. So where the hell was this game all my life when the NES ended up with this crappy video game cartridge of cocks? Well, enough talk, let's just get into our first case here. And in the game's intro, we learn a couple rules about this game. Only by collecting hard evidence can we put the bad guys away, don't shoot any unarmed thugs, and this blonde chick wants to jump my bones faster than Toad can tell me the princess is in another castle. Damn it, Toad, you cock blocker! So before I start getting blue balls here, let's get down to our first case. Someone is making fake $20 bills, and I need to find out who that is. Move over here to our list of suspects, and we see that the tramp is our culprit, and he's hiding out at the 5th and B building. Now we just need to figure out where the hell that is. God, I hate this game. So once arriving, it's time to bust inside and, yeah, now we're talking. It's time for some side-scrolling shootout action. Or should I say, side-scrolling fisticuffs action? Alright, now this is what I'm talking about. Fire! 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 Good lord, these guys are all over the damn place. Ugh. Ugh. Ah! Come on! Ah! And don't even think you're getting any continues in this hard-ass game, because after dying, it's game over where you're going, pal. And just like that, this game scars the young boy in me that ran into this game long ago. Just what the hell is up with this unfair fight? I don't mind a gunfight, but my god, this is just an ass-kicking fest with my ass being the one that's kicked. And anyone that's suffering from Silver Surfer game PTSD better stay the hell away from this game, because Dick Tracy will send you over the fucking edge! Ah! You piece of shit! And to make matters worse, you just can't go in guns blazing. You'd be an idiot! Because remember this line right here? Well, this is meant to let you know that if you shoot anyone without a gun, you'll be penalized and your health meter will be drained. Are you kidding me right now with this bullshit? These guys are shooting at me, punching me in the face, and killing me, and I have to sit here and play does he have a gun or not before firing. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Look, I'm glad the game developers could merge both case solving and gangster shootouts into a single game. But the way they did it is like they had a shit in a blender, pour it into a paint can, and then told me to paint my house brown in order to do it. Well, fuck you, man. Now I have shitty walls. And during these battles, I'm going absolutely insane, toggling back and forth between my gun and fists while dodging all the bullets being sprayed at me. Okay, punch. Now shoot. Back to punching. Now shoot again. Shit. Ah. Punch some more. Okay, switch back. Punch. Shoot. Dip. Up. Jesus, now I'm dead. Game over. Thanks, Dick Tracy, you dumb donkey dip dunkin' dumpster dildo douche. Damn. Can't I just get a super punch or something to help me out here? What the hell was that? Not really what I had in mind with these Three Stooges shenanigans. But I guess I'll just have to take whatever wacky shit they give me at this point. Anyway, managed to capture Steve the Tramp, and he'll give us more clues that'll send us on a wild goose chase around town. Once getting some high praises by the chief, it's off to the pier, where a whole other fuckfest is about to take place. Because in this area, you'll be doing all kinds of platform-to-platform jumping. Hit the water once, it'll kick you right back out of the level? My god, this is worse than the platforms bullshit in Castlevania. Oh, not this bullshit too. So after finding our next clue, let's see. Footprints in a puddle of green ink? What the hell does that mean? Doesn't really give me anything to work with on these other suspects here. Nope, big fat nothing. Looks like I might be stuck here, but that's alright, because I've got my Dick Tracy two-way wristwatch to call the police chief. Hey chief, Irate Gamer here. Hey, I need some help with this game, I'm stuck.
You got it, Tracy. I'll just patch you in with an exploit that's played this game before.
Alright, now we're talking. Let's see who he's gonna get to help me. Oh, here we go, and...
Irate Gamer? What do you want?
The angry video game nerd? Whoa, you're the one that's supposed to help me with this video game?
Yeah. How do you like this cameo? Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria! So anyway, you've been playing shitty games for a long time too. I sympathize. So anyway, we should unite against these shitty games.
Huh. That's actually not a bad idea. Especially since we're like, what, the only two old school game reviewers left on YouTube? Man, those terrible games have just defeated everyone. But you know what? I think it's time to strike back and team up against these damn things. But this isn't going to be like one of those lame AVGN Nostalgia Critic crossovers, is it?
Lame? No, this is going to be one of those real half-ass ones where I just magically pop in for a few minutes. So anyway, I was in the middle of playing a game here, so what can I do for you? How can I help you?
Okay, so I'm reviewing the Dick Tracy NES video game for the movie's 30th anniversary, and I'm stuck at this part where I'm supposed to...
God, Dick Tracy? You mean that piss-boiling, anal evacuation-inducing fuck heap?
Yeah, this game's a bunch of ass burgers with a side of fries. Hold the shit pickle.
Shit pickle.
This yours? No one hates this game more than I do.
Well, I hate this game so much, I'd rather thaw a frozen dog turd.
I hate this game so much, I'd rather deep fry this fucker in a vat of Donkey Kong urine.
Well, I'd rather dip a skunk in a shitty toilet bowl and then suck its fur dry.
I hate it so much, I'd rather shit in a toaster and then barbecue it in ass paste.
I hate this game so much, I'd climb a mountain of dead fish just to get away from it.
Ugh, the hate I have for this game is worse than crusty ass cheeks.
This game is bullfuck.
This game is double bullfuck.
Hey. I already said that.
Yeah, but I doubled it. Fuck this game.
Double fuck this game.
Shit pickle.
All right, look, let's just calm down here a moment. It's obvious we both hate this piss poor excuse of a Nintendo game. I know you reviewed it, took you a long time to get through it, but you never did really beat it. So I think when it comes down to it, I'm the one that hates Dick Tracy more because I intend on playing the shitty game up until the end, until I beat it.
I hate it more than you, and I bet I can beat it before you too.
What? Yeah, right! You didn't even beat it the first time! Look, I know I can beat this game before you do, so I guess the battle of gamers between us is finally on!
Fine, it's a race. I'll contact you when I cross the finish line.
Well, I think we clearly know who won that argument. Hey, wait a minute. You didn't even tell me what to do next! Well, that's just great. Since I have no idea what this clue means, or where I'm supposed to go next, I guess I'll just exit this level here. And whoa! We find ourselves right smack in the middle of a high-car speed chase. If I can steer this piece of shit car, that is. God, these controls suck. In the words of Scorpion, get over here! Oh, come on, get on with it! Now it's time to interrogate this douchebag. All right, shoulders, give me the skinny and make it snappy. I've got a nerd to beat. All right, fourth and D, got it. Now time to hot foot over there and grab our clue. And hot damn, we find that Numbers is our culprit. Time to book this jackass. Well, if I don't die first. Well, after finding Numbers, it's time to lock up this cockmaster general. Now it's back to more trash talk from Big Boy and more pillow talk from Breathless Mahoney. And all throughout this game, this chick gives me all kinds of sexual innuendos that tends to walk the line of a kid's game that could turn into an X-rated fantasy. I mean, just look at this. How about dusting me for fingerprints? Damn, honey, you need it that bad? Get in the bathroom and I'll meet you there in 5 minutes. Now there are 5 cases in all, and in the second one here, you'll have to figure out who burned down the nightclub. And word on the street is that Lips Manless did it. So I'll figure out where he's hiding, and I'll go arrest his punk ass. So after fighting my way to where this lunatic's hiding out, we've got our culprit, so let's choose that arrest option. Oh, what the hell? I have to interrogate him first? Alright, fine. And now he tells me he's innocent and that I should go to his nightclub for confirmation. Let's just go ahead and do just that. And there's our clue, and a note saying that Lips could have done it. But wasn't he innocent? I mean, I couldn't arrest the guy. After searching for the next destination, and playing switcheroo with all my weapons to the point where my fingers start bleeding from all the button mashing. Oh, damn it, not again! We find this guy, who then leads me to Breathless, who then leads me to the clue of a photo of Lips Manless starting the fire? What the cockstabbing shit? You mean to tell me I tracked this guy down, was force-fed his lies, followed the leads of that lie, had to endure all these stupid turns, put my life on the line, only to find out that the real culprit is the same guy I tried to arrest earlier, but the game refused to let me do so? What a smelly, crappy bag of bullshit! My god, can you just throw me a bone here and give me an option just to kill this guy? Yeah, damn straight!
Big Boy was first! Big Boy, that's the best! That's the best!
Yeah, that's for lying to me, asshole! Yeah, that'll teach ya! Oh man, I better get a move on, or that angry nerd's gonna beat me. Wonder what he's up to. Ha! He's still stuck at the last case. I might beat him yet. Alright, so in this third case, we've pretty much seen everything this game has to offer by this point. The game gives us a clue, we track down that clue, get shot at, we interrogate, get blue balls, and put these guys away for good. In our fourth case though, clues become even more vague, as we're told that a ransom diplomat heard a foghorn during captivity. Check my mug shots here, and who does that apply to? Doesn't look like anyone. I guess we'll just pick a guy at random here and head over to this apartment. And alright, damn straight, I'm hot on the trail here. And if I talk to Littleface in the brow and outrun these stupid boner-biting dogs, then I'll find the clue of the fingerprints of the brow at the scene of the crime. Alright! I'll beat that nerd yet. Now time to arrest this guy and... What the shit? This game won't let me bust his ass? But I've got his damn fingerprints! And it turns out the only reason I can't bust this guy is because I never figured out what clue number 2 was. Oh my god, I'm on the clock here, I can't deal with this shit. Now it's on to the 5th and final case because, well, I'm sure only 5 people have even made it this far because of A, this bullshit right here, and B, this game is so damn awful, who else would want to get this far unless you're trying to race someone else to beat it? Get out of my way! So after heading to the bank here, we find a clue that tells us to check the pier. Damn it, not the pier again. Now what pisses me off is that some of these piers are only as big as this single screen here. And of course the pier that we need to go to just goes on and on and on and on. God, I hate this game. So after uncovering all the clues on our notepad, now we have to figure out the location of where Big Boy is. And unfortunately, he's not on our list of mugshots. So where is he, you ask? Now I'm sure every kid back in the 1990s went absolutely mad trying to figure this out. Because the answer to this, well, you have to be a fucking super sleuth even to figure it out. And it's only by studying this quick cutscene in the movie itself that we see that Big Boy's hideout is at the Ritz. And of course, if you're driving around town in the game, you'll end up actually seeing this building right here. Whoa, turn this car back around there, ass face. You passed it.
You called?
No, not you, little face. I said ass face. Your cousin. You know, that one with the asshole for a face?
Oh.
But yep, there's the Ritz building right there. And Big Boy is waiting inside. And of course, this is absolutely ridiculous because for a game that doesn't have any other iconic scenes from the movie, like the railroad station, the bridge, the diner, or this toll booth thing right here, but why did they put Big Boy in a blink and you'll miss it location? You dickface!
Hey, you called?
You're disgusting. Get out of here! Alright, so anyway, we're just a couple seconds away from winning the game and taking it all! So let's fight our way to Big Boy, knock him out, arrest him, and then beat AVGN by finishing this game! Yes, I won! Oh man, I finally beat the nerd at something! Time to savor this moment. Oh, that's probably him right now. Hey, nerd! Calling to congratulate me?
Congratulate you? I already beat it a second ago, and I posted it all over.
Wait a minute, you what? Story of my life. This isn't over, nerd.
Hey, you didn't think I really beat that game, did you? I just used the beat a game button. You push the button and the game's beat.
Playing these video games all morning sure works up an appetite. Time to make myself some breakfast. Alright, Ninja Turtle cereal. Aw man, I've been out of this since 1991. Face it, breakfast is ruined. Nintendo cereal system, breakfast is saved. Now, being a 1980s kid that grew up with the NES, when this cereal box was released in cereal shelves everywhere, It was kind of like a siren-like call that called you to it. I ate it, all my friends ate it, and heck, I didn't know one kid that didn't eat this stuff. It was just a recipe for win. Nintendo cereal is perhaps one of the coolest boxes ever to grace breakfast for gamers in the 1980s. I mean, heck, the box alone is iconic and nostalgic for everyone that remembers it. But the fun thing about the 1980s was that this was a decade that companies ushered in a plethora of cereals based on all the brands we loved. Smurfs, Batman, Ghostbusters, Cabbage Patch Dolls. Okay, even I have my limits, but nothing could be more deadly than Urkelos. Wait a minute, Urkelos? You mean the Did I Do That Kid? Oh, for crying out loud, I don't even remember this cereal. Let's just move on before this turns into an irate Family Matters rant. Nintendo had really hit its stride with kids by 1989, with games like Super Mario Bros. And Legend of Zelda both becoming household staples. That spring, a Nintendo cereal was finally released, which brought this video game epicness to a whole new level. But not just Nintendo cereal, but the Nintendo Cereal System, which was kind of an odd name since it doesn't play video games. Now, fun fact about this cereal is that it's made by a company named Ralston, which also coincidentally made the Ninja Turtles cereal that I reviewed a couple years ago. Unfortunately, one factoid I seemed to overlook as a kid was that this company was owned by the Peoria Dog Chow Company. Well, despite that funny tidbit, I can't tell you how iconic of a box this is, because this thing just oozes nostalgia. On this side, we have Super Mario Bros. Over here, which is called the Action Series, and on the other side, well, we have Legend of Zelda, which is called the Adventure Series, because, well, that's what both their games embody. Now, the cool thing about this cereal was that it has two flaps on the top, one over here and one over here, one for each separate cereal, because inside, we have two different cereals to choose from. On the left side of this box, which was all things Super Mario Bros., well, everything was coming up fruity with these really cool fruity flavors. On the right side of this box, well, everything was coming up berry with Legend of Zelda and their berry-like flavors. Now, I'm pretty sure that this is the first time that they combined two different cereals in one box, and I think this was to drive home the Nintendo Cereal System, because in the same way that the Nintendo gives you a variety of games to choose from, well, this time they're going to give you a variety of cereals to choose from. So this cool Nintendo cereal was released in April of 1989, and you can head to your nearest grocer and pick one up for the suggested retail of $2.50. Now, back in the day, these gimmicky cereals right here always cost just a little bit more of the other cereals like Corn Pops, Corn Flakes, or whatever corn poop was out back then. But I gotta show you this hilarious article back from 1989 that I know you guys will enjoy. Because during this whole article, this lady ends up flipping out over the price of cereal being around $3 a box.
I reached for a box of cereal and frozen shock before I took it off the shelf. I certainly couldn't afford to buy any with the price of a $3 a box. Good heavens!
And the most ironic part about this is that if you go into eBay right now and you want to buy one of these, an empty box, mind you, will cost you $300 to purchase. $300! That is a hell of a markup. And these things weren't rare to find either. You can find these at every single grocery store. So I just can't believe that they're $300 to buy now. And I can't tell you how many I bought of these and just threw the box away. Boy, was I stupid. But alright, fine. If $3 is going to blow your budget, lady, here, go get yourself some Lucky Beans. They're 3 for $1. But I gotta tell you, any kid that grew up in the 1980s knows how iconic of a breakfast this was, because you could pretty much pick your own adventure and have your own cereal at your disposal. So let's open up the Mario cereal here and dig in. Now, this fruity flavored Mario cereal was pretty darn epic, as it had 3 distinct colors, orange, yellow, and green. And what's even cooler is that each cereal had their own cereal shapes that came straight from the video game. We had Goombas, Turtles, Mushrooms, and King Koopa himself, Bowser. And if you found yourself not wanting fruity cereal, well, you could always choose the other side, Legend of Zelda, which gave you a berry flavor. And this cereal was just as cool, as it gave you different colors, in purple, red, and yellow colors, with shapes coming right out of the Legend of Zelda video game, like Link himself, shields, hearts, keys, and boomerangs. And of course, the only downside is that half the baggie fits in a bowl. I guess this does get expensive. And once this Nintendo cereal system was released to the masses, well, it didn't take long for the cereal to become a hit and knock their competitors off their pedestal.
Did I do that?
Oh, get out of here, Urkel! And by 1990, the cereal had become one of the hottest cereals in the cereal aisle, alongside Batman and Ninja Turtle cereal. Huh, way to go! And I'm sure that most of this cereal's popularity probably came from that catchy Nintendo cereal commercial that aired on TV about every 5 seconds with that damn jingle of Nintendo.
It's for breakfast now. Nintendo. It's the cereal. Wow. Nintendo. Super Mario Jump. Nintendo. In a fruit flavored crunch.
Nintendo. Man, talk about an anthem of a generation. You just say those 3 words in that cadence to anyone growing up in the 1980s, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. And man, talk about a crazy commercial too. 3 kids bobbing around the screen with TVs on their head? I'm not sure what acid trip the marketing guy was on when he made this commercial, but hell, it must have worked on me because I remember eating this cereal like it was going out of style back then. Nintendo. Oh my god.
2 cereals in 1. Wow.
Now, another cool thing about this cereal is that the 3 years that it was around, well, they didn't just keep the same images on the box, because they ended up changing the box art 8 different times over its life cycle. Now, the cool thing about this cereal is that it was released back when they were still putting prizes in the box. And one of the first items they offered were things like iron-on transfers, one of Mario, one of Zelda, and, well, these things really sucked. Because most of the time you had to sit there and burn a hole into your shirt before it actually fused into the fabric. Ah! Other prizes included things like Mario rulers, which now sells for $50 on eBay, and limited edition holographic shirts, which lists for $1,000. Or what about those little mini pinball games, which if you look those up on eBay, $2,500? Oh man, I had one of those too! Ah! And they also had these lenticular cards with Mario, with tips and tricks from the video game printed on the back. Okay, to become small fiery Mario? I never heard of this trick. Now let's try it. So let's see, I have to become Big Mario in the castle, hit Bowser on his head and the axe at the same time when you defeat him. Then on the next level, get the mushroom, it makes you shrink down, then get the fire flower. What the hell? You can actually become Small Fire Mario? I must have played this game like 500,000 hours. How come I didn't know about this? Oh, get out of here! And according to this article here, I guess some later boxes from 1991 contain phone numbers that you could call to get tips and tricks about your favorite Nintendo games. Then he goes on to say that he wishes there was a phone number he can call to help him with his golf score. But check out this interesting anecdote. On the way out of the grocery store, I noticed a kid suffering through the final moments of a video game in the lobby. He kicked and cussed out the machine as the game over flashed across the screen. Huh, I realized this guy was watching me in action back then. Now, even though these pack-in items were pretty cool, well, nothing could beat those memorable cards that were printed on the back of the box, which you had to cut out and collect. And there are 12 in all, which featured all your favorite video game characters. Oh man, does this take me back. I remember having to buy every single box and cutting these stupid things out just so I could have them all. Get all 3 boxes, and you yourself could have yourself a full set of 12. Then you can flip them all over and have a picking war with your friends. All right, Ronnie, let's do this. Oh, this is gonna be fantastic. I can't wait to see who I pick. All right, let's see who I can get. And I get the card of, ooh, it's Link. Oh, I just love this card. Okay, my turn to pick one, and... oh man! Oh, for crying out loud, this is the lamest card in the bunch. Alright, let's pick another card here. And this time we get... oh, it's Princess Peach! Let's try this again. Old woman! Of all the cool characters in the game, they made the old woman? Oh, come on! Now, since Nintendo had their own cereal, it only made sense to push all their other products all over these boxes. Like on the back of this box, well, we can save $6 on your Nintendo Power subscription. And on other boxes, well, they pushed Power Pads, Power Gloves, Game & Watches, and also this Nintendo Power 3-minute cassette tape, which contained all kinds of tips and tricks for your favorite NES video games. A 3-minute audio cassette tape? I wonder what that sounds like. Well, let's find out.
Hi, Power Players. Listen up, and we'll provide you with tips for some of your favorite NES game packs. Here we go. For Ikari Warriors, right after...
Ikari Warriors? Oh, cool. Wait a minute, I don't have that.
In Hudson's Adventure Island, find
Adventure Island?
hidden
Wait a
inside
minute, I don't have that either.
the end of state in Gradius. As
Gradius?
soon as your
What the hell's
last ship is
Gradius? Does it mean
destroyed,
Gradius?
push down
Who the hell owns that?
Up on the control pad, and then B-A, 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 B-A.
Crying out loud. But I do wonder how much that cassette tape costs on eBay here. $4,000?! Ugh. Now, as cool as this cereal was, all good things must come to an end. And at the end of 1991, well, this cereal poured its last bowl. But even though this cereal's long gone from cereal shelves, its memory is far from forgotten. Especially those crazy commercials, too. Nintendo. It's a video game cereal. Nintendo. Made in 1989. Nintendo. One side has Mario. Nintendo. The other side Zelda. Nintendo. I'll eat it, then I'll beat it. Nintendo. What a flavorful crunch. Nintendo. It's a cereal, wow. I'll open up the box and I'll find the prize. There's fruity and berry on either side. Just pour me a bowl before I go insane. Which one to open for a high score to gain? The cereal shapes are taken from video games. Contains those sprites from Mario and Zelda fame. Goombas, turtles, mushrooms, no shape is ever lame. Shields, keys, hearts, will we ever see this again? Open the box to get the goodies inside. Rollers and transfers and mini pinball games. There's even trading cards on the back of these boxes. Just be careful what you pick because there's no second chances. Ah, the old woman, no! Nintendo. It's a video game cereal. Nintendo. With an annoying commercial. Nintendo. Buy the cereal for me, Mom. Nintendo. If I don't get it, I'll die. Nintendo. What a flavorful crunch. Nintendo. Oh, breakfast is saved. Nintendo. It's a cereal, yum. Hey gamers, welcome back, and as you can tell, we've had quite an amazing season already. Ernie Hudson, AVGN, how can you top that? So I'm looking at my video game wall here and I'm like, what do I review next? I'm stumped.
Hey, Irate Gamer. This is Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is the OG Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I would like you to do the following. Review the Ninja Turtles arcade game, dude.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Rob Paulson on the Irate Gamer Show. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, man, it's Rob Paulson, the voice of Raphael from the original Ninja Turtles about 172 years ago. I look pretty good for my age, don't you think?
Well, that you do. So that is a great idea. So for this episode, yep, let's do it. The Ninja Turtles arcade game and my disdain for the NES version. Irate Gamer style, baby. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles defined a generation when the cartoon began airing in 1987. It was then that young boys around the country tuned in week after week, which resulted in a merchandising blockbuster. Tons of action figures exploded onto toy shelves, comic books based off the cartoon arrived in bookstores, and in 1989, the Ninja Turtles arcade game appeared in video arcades everywhere. Now, I remember when they first put this game in my local arcade, I was ecstatic because there was no warning it was coming. It just appeared there one day, right in the front, of course, to entice kids to come inside. And there was about 20 kids surrounding the thing, so I had to wait a good amount of time to get my hands on it. But once I did, instant classic.
Hang on, April.
And it was the perfect embodiment of the cartoon that we all knew and loved. It was full of bright colors, fun gameplay, and the characters looked just like they did from the show. Bebop, Rocksteady, Krang, Mousers, Baxter Stockman, the Technodrome robots. Those Technodrome robots gave me so much trouble. I hate those things. And the best part about this game was that you could play all 4 Ninja Turtles all at the same time with 4 joysticks. And being a kid that loved Ninja Turtles, this was a selling point that sold us all. And believe me, back then, it was hard enough trying to find games that were 2-player. Now you got a 4-player game? Ha! Knock me over with a Kid Icarus feather. I can't even begin to tell you how cool it was playing alongside 3 strangers or 3 friends to help you kick some shredder ass. And of course, all this was just totally tubular. Dumping all my allowance into this machine week after week was well worth it, since this game had it all. A flashy intro, stomping down the Foot Clan, and if you died, well, you could just abandon that turtle and jump on another turtle's controllers and play a different character in the game. And of course, back then, everybody wanted to play fan favorite Michelangelo, so if you wanted to play him, good luck. Yep, the Ninja Turtles arcade game was phenomenal, and the only downside to this game was that it didn't feature the original voice actors from the cartoon.
Shell shock.
Now, it's a minor complaint, I know, but hey, that's why we've got Rob here. So hey, Rob, how about giving us some trash-talking Raphael lines?
Hold the phone, I think we're on the same side. Shredder? Wait a minute, you named yourself after a kitchen appliance? And I think this is my favorite one. Shredder, you tin-faced geek, get back here and taste cold turtle steel!
Oh, that's so cool. Can we keep him here as a permanent fixture? Gotta love Rob. And of course, God forbid you run out of quarters before completely finishing the game, because this one always left you scrambling for one last one. I thought I had one more quarter. Where is it? No! Son of a bitch. So in the same summer that the Ninja Turtles arcade game was released, Konami also released Ninja Turtles for the NES. My favorite cartoon on my favorite video game system? Dear Santa, you better get me this shit for Christmas! Every kid I know wanted this game for Christmas, and they ended up getting it that holiday season because it was Ninja Turtles. You just had to have it. Because we all loved the arcade game, but we really wanted a Ninja Turtles game that we could play in the comfort of our own home. And if we got that, well, things couldn't possibly go wrong, right? Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is I know every gamer in existence has bitch-slapped this game across the universe. But back in 1989, that wasn't the case, and this is something I like to call the Phantom Menace effect. Now, back when Star Wars Phantom Menace first came out, no one said a bad word about this movie, even though it was absolutely terrible, because we had waited years for a new installment of Star Wars. You couldn't talk bad about Star Wars, you couldn't hate Star Wars. How could you say anything bad about Star Wars? If you didn't understand that movie, it's because the other 2 installments weren't out yet. But of course, when the second movie came out and that was a piece of crap too, oh man, everybody lost their shit on that franchise. And that was the same exact thing that happened to the Ninja Turtles game. The only reason kids got it was because, well, Ninja Turtles was slapped all over the cover here. We all wanted to love this game, we knew it was a piece of shit, but nobody wanted to admit that it was a piece of shit, because this game was all we had for the NES. You couldn't just get away with calling the only Ninja Turtles game in existence an untantalizing terrible turd. Because if this game didn't make sense and was too hard for you, well, that was your fault for not being good enough at it. And of course, as you know, this is the psychological sweeping it under the carpet bullshit that birthed the whole generation of angry video game reviewers. Because we let that angry pus-filled blister boil under our skin until it exploded out with a vengeance. Aw, fuck that seaweed! But this game wasn't all that bad though, because the beginning of it was actually pretty damn cool. Snazzy intro, catchy music, and the ability to roam around New York, jump into sewers to fight the Foot. Yep, things were off to a pretty great start here. But then the further you got, the weirder things became. Foot soldiers became killer bugs, Mousers became ceiling jumping bugs, then walking eyeballs, and those weird ass floating eyeball faces with goatees? Huh? What the holy fuck did I just walk into? A Stephen King novel adaptation video game? Hell, why not have guys on fire and, oh yeah, we got those too. Now there's no excuse for these lame-ass enemies since the cartoon had like a bazillion episodes by 1989. You mean to tell me you couldn't at least pull out a respectable roster of bad guys from the show? Or how about pulling out bad guys from that crazy toy line with characters like Worm or, God forbid, Ace Duck? And the only reason he showed up in the toy line because he was on a TV show that the Ninja Turtles were watching for like 1 second in one of the cartoon episodes. So let me get this straight. I can't get Ace Duck, but you can give us a dude from Chainsaw Massacre. Oh, god damn it. And of course this pickle-peppered pot of piss reaches its fever pitch at the end of level 1. Yes, I said level 1 with this underwater level. And yes, I know this thing is just iconically ripped apart today, but my god, this thing was a beast to get through back then. It's bad enough we have to disarm these bombs with that counter counting down, and avoiding obstacles like electrical circuits and this twirling bullshit. But you'll also have to avoid getting too close to this Venus flytrap seaweed, as well as the Irate Gamer dubbed Corridor Seaweed of Death. Ah! Ah! Fuck! My god, this level makes me shit a pixelated brick! I mean, come on, just look at the little pathway they give you to get through this thing. I'd have a better chance squeezing an elephant through a 4-inch dick hole! How do you go from arcade epicness to NES flush your shit down the toilet-ness? What a cowabunga piece of shit! Well, the death rate among Turtle fans must have skyrocketed that year, because 1 year later, well, Konami course-corrected their mistake by announcing a second installment.
Cowabunga!
And this time, they did the surprising move of porting their hit arcade game to the NES. Now, I remember when Nintendo Power broke the news that we were getting a new Ninja Turtles arcade game. It was like the shot heard around the world. And of course, they gave us a 3-page spread to preview this game. It looked phenomenal. Look at that. The artwork. They gave us previews of some of the stages. And they gave us screen grabs enticing any kid that looked at them. Talk about a recipe for a win. No longer did I have to waste all my money at the arcade. I could buy other stupid shit like, these things right here. Grossville High? What the hell was I thinking? But this was an incredible day. The Ninja Turtles arcade coming to your NES. And as a kid, this news was pretty damn big, like the second coming of Jesus big. And the biggest selling point they pushed everywhere was that not only were you getting the arcade game, but you were getting 2 extra levels made specifically for the NES version. Whoa, whoa, whoa! 2 extra levels for the NES version?
Ow, shell shock.
Oh yeah, boy! 2 extra levels! 2 extra levels! 2 extra levels! 2 extra levels! And did we mention 2 extra levels? Because this game has 2 extra levels! Haha, yeah! And of course, to me, that was the biggest selling point of this game. I have to see what these other 2 levels are, because I love the arcade game. Now give me those 2 extra levels. So time to pop this game in, see what the hell I'm missing out on. Aw yeah, there's the iconic intro. And what the hell is this? Looks like the arcade game, but this isn't the arcade game. Muddy colors, the ability to only play 2 players, and Donatello has a short attack range? This wasn't the arcade experience I was promised. Talk about your boner going limp in record time. Now I understand you can't fully replicate the arcade experience onto an NES cartridge because of console limitations at the time. But my god, the way they advertised this game made you think you're getting an exact replica of the arcade game. I mean, the game by itself really isn't a bad game. In fact, it's probably comparable to the Double Dragon series, where you just go around and brawl endlessly. But as a kid, I wanted that same exact experience at the arcade in the comfort of my own home. So of course when I played this game, well, I saw nothing more but a suck-ass poor man's version of that arcade game. Look, I'll give them an A for effort, but this was not the Ninja Turtles that these guys were advertising. I mean, even in the Nintendo Power issue, they oversaturated the shit out of these pictures to make it appear that these stages had more color to them, which, well, they really didn't. Now, like I showed you previously, the coolest part of the arcade game was the freedom to pick any Ninja Turtle at the beginning or ending of your game. In the NES version, if you pick a turtle, well, you're gonna fight as that turtle, sleep as that turtle, die as that turtle, reincarnate as that turtle. Hell, your soul is fucking welded together with this turtle throughout a boundless eternity. Can you give me at least 1 second alone to eat my damn breakfast? Why call this the arcade game if you can't even select a different fighter after dying? What a piece of 2 cowabunga shits fused together. But But what they lacked in picking your own player, well, they made up in marketing strategies, because now, Konami made it very clear that Pizza Hut was their advertising partner, since all through this game, you'll see their little logos all over the place. Wonder what other logos we can find throughout this game. Now another downside in this game is if you play this with another player, you'll be able to get pretty far in this game. But if you take on the enemy all by yourself, well, I defy you to reach the ending because it's not happening. Since this game becomes increasingly harder the further you get, well, you just can't plop in a quarter after dying, and you'll be forced to watch this rainbow bright display game over ending slap it in your face over and over again. And of course, no amount of that Pizza Hut pizza will save your ass from this kill screen. Maybe if they incorporated the Pizza Hut Book It program instead, could have had a fighting chance. Despite the graphical limitations and the character select options, well, everything else is pretty much spot on. The first stage here is fire at the bottom of the screen, the levels are laid out exactly the same, even down to those damn wrecking balls flying out of the stairwell. Which I never really thought about it before, but how the hell are they storing so many of those wrecking balls at the top of the building? Are they dropping them like one at a time, and how are they stacking them? How's a building supporting this much weight? I need to know these answers, this is just driving me nuts. And as for the cutscenes, well, they're all here too, and they look pretty much identical to the arcade game. Even down to the turtles you picked at the time, being the only one on the screen. But again, this is another painful reminder that you'll never see all 4 turtles at once on this screen at one time. Yeah, thanks for rubbing that in, Konami. Now this game boasted 2 extra levels, right? Well, let's take a look at one of them. So in the arcade game, the game progresses like this. Fight off the human Baxter Stockman, then head to the parking lot. In the NES version, after beating Baxter Stockman, well, he's mysteriously transformed into his fly mutation in this bonus cutscene, which they never explain. And then we get whisked away to the New York Zoo during the dead of winter? Now this is a cool idea, but where the hell did all this snow come from? Unless I'm playing as a hidden character of Rip Van Turtle that fell asleep a couple months until Christmas, well, this level makes absolutely no sense. And as for new features of this level, I'll try this on for size. Falling snow boulders, foot soldier salt trucks, and snowmen with robots inside of them. Snowmen robots? Did the game developers eat some pot brownie pizzas or something? Exactly how do these things fit into the zeitgeist of the arcade game here? Ugh. But the worst of all has to be the ending boss of this level. Now instead of giving us characters we already know from the show like Metalhead, Slash, or Leatherhead, hell, I would have even taken Ace Duck at this point. But who the hell's this guy? Joe Camel Polar Bear guy? And once defeating him, well, you find out the reason it's snowing is because he had a weather modifying device. Yeah, that explains things. What a bunch of Christmas cowbunga snowflaking shit! And if we check out that second new level, which has been sandwiched between the bridge level and the Technodrome level, well, we find this level, which is called the Ninja Castle level. Now this could have been a really fun level as foot soldiers burst out of every scene in fun ways. But since they also stuffed this level with these pain-in-the-ass foot soldier floating robots and deadly paper tiger assholes with flips my shit! Damn it! After magically popping out of the background, they unpredictably start jumping and prancing around the screen, and in order to fight them, well, you have to line up your turtle perfectly just to get a shot in at them. And sometimes, this can take hours to accomplish. Damn it. Damn it! Get back here! Ugh, I hate this damn tiger! And the worst part is you have to hit them like 50 times before they end up dying. Oh, come on, can't we just dial this back to hitting them 5 times before they die? Ugh, fuck this level, fuck this game, and fuck those tigers! Oh no, you don't. Well, at least the ending boss of this level is pretty cool. A dojo master whose head can come off and attack you. Like that won't give kids nightmares. Well, to sum up, I guess you can see that I just wasn't a big fan of the Ninja Turtles 2 arcade game. But sales for this game must have been pretty impressive because 1 year later, well, Konami came back with a 3rd installment called the Manhattan Project, which they could have just called Ninja Turtles 3, the arcade game part 2. That had nothing to do with the first NES game, but that'd probably get a little confusing. And the best part about this game is that every complaint I had with the second one, well, they actually fixed it. Because after dying in this game, they actually give you the option of picking another turtle, just like the original arcade game. but the colors are much more vibrant just like the original, and they even added in a whole roster of bad guys that kids know and love from the Ninja Turtles universe. Slash, Ground Chuck, hell, they even had Razor and Toka from the live-action movie. Yep, a great game, but damn it all, why couldn't we have all these features in the second NES game? Talk about kicking sand in my face. What a piece of cowabunga sand stuck in my ass shit. I wish I could tell you that the whole arcade game to console ports had a happy ending, but nope, never happened. Because when the Super Nintendo finally came along, well, Konami decided not to port the original arcade game to the console, but, well, its arcade sequel, Turtles in Time, instead. Now, I'm not sure why they did this, but of course when they transferred this over, they had to redo the numbering system and call this Turtles 4. Huh. And since the Super Nintendo had caught up with the gaming graphics at the time, well, Turtles in Time look identical to the arcade version, with the only exception of giving you 2 players to play at the same time instead of 4. But that's something I'm willing to overlook since this looks identical to the original. Now, I'm really dumbfounded why Konami never gave us the arcade game on the SNES, because one would figure this would be a slam dunk. But I'm sure the main reason was probably because they didn't want to screw up their numbering system, because if they did release it, well, they'd have to call it Ninja Turtles number 5, and that would just screw everything up, right? What a piece of cowabunga jump the shark shit. Well, fast forward to today, and thankfully, the company Arcade 1-Up was able to deliver us an affordable reproduction of this iconic game we loved as a kid. And not only does it have the original arcade game, but Turtles in Time as well. And this, of course, is what I always wanted. 4 players, 4 joysticks, doesn't get much better than that. So alright Rob, there you go, my dedicated review and history of the Ninja Turtles arcade game. So what'd you think?
Listen, man, I am so very happy to be part of anything that blasts out more Ninja Turtle love. Look, I even got my red hat. My bandana's kind of in the laundry at the moment. But man, I totally, really appreciate you, Chris, for spreading the turtle love, the TMNT love, baby. Anyway, take care, you guys. Thanks again, Chris. Turtle power. Cowabunga!
Well, it certainly seems that vintage arcade games are making a comeback this year. Because, well, you have Arcade 1-Up making their full-size replicas, you have Numbskull with their 17-inch line, New Wave Toys with their 12-inch line, My Arcade with their tabletop versions, and lastly Super Impulse with their little mini keychain line. So no matter what your poison, you can now get your full arcade experience delivered to you in any size. And since I talked about the Ninja Turtles arcade game last time, I thought for this video it'd be kind of fun to reminisce about some of the arcade games that I grew up with. So today, we're going to be talking about arcade ports and comparing them to their arcade game counterparts. Starting with good old Pac-Man. When Pac-Man was released in 1980, that little yellow pie-sliced chomper dominated arcades everywhere. Now this game might seem passé by today's standards, but back in 1980, all the best that the video game world had to offer us were games like Breakout, Space Invaders, and Galaxian. So when Pac-Man came along, well, that fun maze-like gameplay revolutionized the industry. And besides that groundbreaking formula of chasing ghosts only when they turned blue, well, this was also the very first video game that brought us an original video game mascot for us to play as. Because prior to Pac-Man, video games allowed you to play as generic cowboys, blocky characters, starships, pong balls, and whatever the hell this is supposed to be. But with Pac-Man, they gave us an actual character to play as. And of course, any game that exploded onto the scene back in those days was eventually approached by Atari so they could port that thing to their VCS. Unfortunately, the limitations of this console at the time wouldn't be able to support a game that looked like this, so they ended up creating a Pac-Man game that looked like, this. Yeah. I know this game is something left to be desired, but, well, let's just give this a chance. I mean, we still get to chase ghosts around the screen and collect those little power pellets. And if we manage to eat those big power pellets, we can then chase after those ghosts. And now, are these ghosts still edible right now? I can't even tell the difference. Well, that pretty much wrinkles my shit. For a game only involving 2 different characters on screen, one of which just happens to glitch out the entire game, is pretty damn bad. Sometimes they overlap, sometimes they blink out, or even teleport completely off the screen without warning. What the hell am I playing here? Now, I know a lot of online gamers have ripped this thing more assholes than a public restroom sees daily, but here again is another game where that Phantom Menace effect that I talked about in the last episode comes into play. Because while growing up, I didn't hear one person complain about this game. And sure, it was flawed as shit, but everyone just accepted that this was the inferior version of Pac-Man. If you wanted to play the original, then you had to get your ass to the arcade and play it. And if you wanted that better version of Pac-Man, well, you needed to upgrade to the Atari 5200. Yeah, now that's more like it. Although the aspect ratio is totally off on this game, to the point where I just have this insatiable need to squish this shit back into place. Alright, there we go. Once you do that, well, it turns out to be a pretty decent port. But of course now all the sprites are squished to hell. Ah, well, I guess I can live with that. I mean, this version is pretty faithful, right down to the ghosts being red, pink, green. Green?! What bastion of hell created this demonic asswipe of a game? Let's look at that. Fuck this game. Get this out of my face! Because I'm willing to wait a couple more years until this thing was ported to the NES, despite the whole Tengen battle thing. And once starting this one up, well, we see that this game is just what Dr. Mario ordered. The aspect ratio is perfect, it sounds great, and it looks great as well. The only downside is that some of the reds and blue colors are a bit flat when compared to the original. But this game is so perfect, it's something I'm willing to overlook. Now if we switch gears from Pac-Man to Donkey Kong, well, we see a similar evolution taking place here. Donkey Kong for the arcade is iconic, yes, but Donkey Kong for the Atari 2600, what in the holy mother of fucking Stein is this? No. Ever been to an all-you-can-eat buffet and see someone took a shit in the refried beans? Because this is that game. A bunch of shitty beans. But if we take a look at the Donkey Kong version on the Atari 7800, well, now we're getting ourselves some shit-free refried beans. Because this game looks and feels just like that original. And even though this is a great port, well, things got even better when the NES came along, because Nintendo was finally able to deliver a perfect Donkey Kong video game. The only thing that was missing was that conveyor belt level, which, damn it. Just scratch what I just said. Man, we were so close, too. Now, I love me some Burger Time, but if you're gonna serve me up some Burger Time for the Atari, well, I'm gonna shove that ass burger right back in your face. Now, the original video game was just awesome. Running around making hamburgers, perfect. But when they ported this thing to the Atari, oh, for crying out loud. This eyesore of a game has so much ass coming out of it, this is the first eyesore that becomes an ass-sore. I mean, just look at this garbage. Egg enemies have become stick figures, and how the hell do you mess up the sausage enemies? One of them looks like an actual sausage, where the other one looks like a dick. Get this ass burger off my screen. So by now, you're probably seeing the common theme unfolding where graphics in arcade games were always light years ahead of what could be achieved on home consoles. And as long as the arcades can maintain that technological curve, they're able to thrive. Once home gaming graphics finally caught up to the graphics found in the arcade during the 1990s, well, that's when the arcade scene started to be killed off, because why go to the arcade when you can just play the exact same game at home? Like take Pac-Mania for instance. Seeing Pac-Man run around in a Legoland level didn't go unnoticed by me as a kid, because I loved both Pac-Man and Lego. So when I saw the NES port of this game finally released at my local video game rental store, I was super excited. But when I finally sat down to play it, damn it all, they turned Pac-Mania into a packed pile of porcupine piss. Because half the game's charm was the awesome graphics, where it was given a cartoony cel-shaded look. And with the NES version, well, they stripped all that away into a downgraded dumpster fire. But if you think that's bad, we'll just check out this shit when we switch gears to another gaming franchise done in by console limitations, Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair was the coolest damn game when I saw this in arcades. A game that played like an actual cartoon? Like what? To say this game was revolutionary is an understatement. Because I hovered around this damn game for hours until someone finally good at this thing would finally come along and would finally get to those later stages where we could see those levels like with the balls in the corridor. man, that was freaking awesome. And of course, when I played this game, I sucked at it because it was one of those games where you had to press the right button at the right time or you'll just keep dying over and over again. So, yeah, if I wanted to see this game, I had to wait till somebody awesome at this came along. But oddly enough, some dummy came along and thought they could actually port this game that looked like an actual cartoon to the NES and do it justice. And as a dumb kid, well, I bought into this thing, hook, line, and sinker. Because if you look at the NES cover, well, it has all that iconic cartoony imagery. So I thought, hey, this has to be the same game, right? Well, this 8-bit bent boner bastard of a game not only looked terrible, but they also replicated the exact gameplay of needing to hit the right button at the right time bullshit. Shit! Damn it! Now come on! This is only the first part of level 1! I can't imagine what the hell the last level is like, because that hitting the right button at the right time mechanic just doesn't work for this game. Now you could say, oh, Irate Gamer, this could have worked if it was a side-scrolling adventure game. Well, no it wouldn't, because, well, they did that with the SNES version. I mean, even though the graphics are upgraded, well, this turns out to be another bumblefuck of a game that I just want to chuck into the nearest wood chipper. They put so many stupid obstacles in this game to avoid that it becomes a literal countdown to see how fast you can die. Which isn't that long, apparently. And even if you graduate to the Sega CD version, you might think, hey, the original arcade game was on a Laserdisc, this could work. Well, slow down there, Chief. Because yes, we do finally get a small taste of what Dragon's Lair could be like in the comfort of your own home, but again, we have those damn graphical limitations. Ugh, the compression method used on this video is absolutely horrid. I think I get better print quality on my dot matrix printer from the 1990s. Oh, and the controls suck too. I just can't win. And of course, we had to wait 20 years until this thing was ported onto the PlayStation to get the exact arcade feel that we were looking for. Boy, talk about a long 20 years. Now, thankfully, not all the games that were ported onto the NES suffered from those hardware limitations. But instead, the biggest drawback of the first batch of arcade games ported to the Nintendo was that they gave us such faithful recreations of these games, they only gave us 3 lives to complete the game and no continues. These morons all overlooked the simple fact that you couldn't just dump a quarter into the console whenever the game was over. What the hell's up with that? No continues, no bonus lives, nothing. Just pack your shit and go home. Talk about killing off any replayability these games had. Especially with that unholy mother of fuck game called Ghosts N Goblins. 35 years later and this game still sends me over the edge. And this game is so hard, I dare anyone to even get off that first level. And of course after dying, the stupid game mocks you with that stage startup screen, showing you all those later levels that you'll never even get to see.
Over 40 years later, an Irate Gamer still can't beat me. Oh, you asshole. Oh, and I have to give up smoking.
I mean, what the hell is the point of creating an entire game if no one can even reach the second level? Well, thankfully this 3 lives and no continues nonsense ended up getting resolved when the next batch of video games were released for the console, like Ikari Warriors and Contra. Because it was these games that started embedding secret codes into them that helped gamers play even further than you ever could otherwise. Oh, thank God for that. And speaking of Contra, well, back in the day, I had no idea this was based off an arcade game. But yep, it was. And even though the arcade version was vastly superior in the graphics department, well, somehow, the NES version turned out to be a much better game. Huh? How the hell did that happen? Well, you'd think it'd be the other way around, but nope, it didn't. And it was because Konami went the extra mile by making the levels longer, easier, and even adding in extra ones to the game by really ramping up the playability and having that home video game player in mind. So what we ended up with was a pretty awesome Contra game. And whatever they did seemed to work because this trend also continued into other video games like Paperboy. The original arcade game had some of the best graphics around at the time, and they were far superior to the NES version. And of course, when they ported this to the NES, they reworked this to the point where Paperboy is actually the superior game. Because when we look at the arcade game, well, the pace of this one is super fast, causing the player to crash almost as soon as you started the game. damn it! As for the NES version, well, they slowed things down a bit, so you can at least get through the paper route for the day. And the same thing happened with Spy Hunter. The arcade game had superior graphics, but man, was it a fast-paced game. With the NES version, well, they slowed things down a bit again, and the levels were extended to offer up a lot of replayability. But if you want the best example of an NES game outshining the arcade game, well, it has to be Punch-Out! Now, I spent half my childhood playing this damn game because, well, it was so well made. But when I saw the game Punch-Out in the arcade, well, I kept having to do a double take because I wasn't even sure if this was the same game or not. I mean, this one was a complete departure from the NES version. It clearly had the same name, some of the same fighters like Glass Joe, but the playable character of Mac was this weird wireframe dude, the camera angle was off, and you had all these unrecognizable new fighters that you had to fight through. So even though there was an arcade version, well, I wanted no part of it. Just give me the NES version, and I'll be a happy camper. But of course, for every good game that outshone the original, well, we had about 1,000 others that stunk like a leaky asshole. Now let's take the video game Bad Dudes for instance. This was an arcade game I just loved. I used to love playing this rare 2-player arcade game with my cousin at the local pizzeria we had. And it was really hard to find 2-player games back then, so when I found this game, it was just awesome. So when I went to the local video game rental store and saw they ported this game to the NES, I was super excited. We got this game home, popped it in. Yes! Same level, same fighters, and a 2-player game mode that allowed you to play 1 player at a time. Oh, what the fuck? Why did they go and change the best feature of this game? You couldn't figure out a way to give us both players playing at the same time? Just lazy. Well, at least it wasn't as bad as the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom port. My god, this game was an absolute basket of assholes. Little did I realize that this too was originally an arcade game, which really wasn't all that bad. But here again, we find the company taking a mediocre game and trying to stitch more game elements into it. They have no sense even being in this game in the first place to give us one piece of shit port full of something that has 40 fucking levels in? Like, really? Do we really need that many goddamn levels? Temple of Doom? You're a temple of ass! Now thankfully, when we start getting up into the era where Mortal Kombat was released, we find the consoles at the time, well, ported this game pretty darn well. And when it came to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis ports, they could replicate the game about 95% of the way there. Well, both versions delivered a pretty close game. The only thing really off was the graphics were downgraded slightly, and they gave us a different aspect ratio. And even if we look at the Sega CD version, which was probably the most faithful version out there at the time, well, even they had to scale the graphics back a bit to bring this classic to the console. But of course, this game was so close to the original, it's kind of pointless to even rant about it. So in the end, as you can see, we got some great ports and, well, not so great ports. And every one of those games ended up shaping or scarring my childhood. Well anyway, here's a game they never did port, Star Wars, and of course, it's because of this crazy joystick. And since they never did, well, I'm gonna go ahead and play this. So, thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Yeah, I'll shove that force right up your ass! Alright gamers, today we're gonna look at the history of Robocop games and the various consoles that they made them for. And if anyone has a problem with that, well, they can just take it up with Robocop actor himself, Peter Weller.
Hey, Chris Irate Gamer. This is Dr. Peter Weller, aka your pal Robocop, walking down the streets of New Orleans. That's right, New Orleans. All I got to say is, all you irate gamers, a shout out from Chris Irate. Keep playing all those Robocop games. This is your pal Peter Weller, aka Robocop, saying stay out of trouble.
Wow, Peter Weller on the Irate Gamer Show? Never thought I'd see the day, but buckle up gamers, because the ultimate history of Robocop games is here. Hit the music! In 1987, we were treated to the iconic sci-fi action movie of Robocop. Talk about a great movie.
I am a cop.
an officer gunned down in the line of duty and turned into a half-man, half-robot crime-fighting machine.
Dick Jones is wanted for murder.
And with just about every hit movie in the 1980s would come the eventual onslaught of Robocop video games. In 1989, when they released to Nintendo Power that they were doing a Robocop game, super excited. And they did a 4-page spread on what this video game would be all about. And to increase our anticipation, well, they are spoiling all kinds of game maps, secret tips and tricks, as well as the appearance of the ED-209. Oh man, it doesn't get much better than that, especially when they start including stills from the movie itself. And of course, that just made the kid in me scream, I gots to play this game! So when Robocop was finally released on the NES, this was one game I just had to play. Could it stack up to the movie? Well, let's find out. Now, Robocop here turned out to be an okay adaptation. We got a snazzy intro, and a first level that's, well, pretty straightforward. Fight through the streets of Detroit and reach the end of the level. And on your way there, well, we let a Robo-Fist do the talking. Although when starting the game, well, they don't give us a gun to fight with. Well, that's annoying. And as for the controls in this game, well, it does leave something left to be desired. Okay, so the A button punches, and the B button also punches? Okay, that's weird. But the select button does your block attack. Oh boy, and that's his block attack? Looks more like he's sneezing. Gesundheit. Now, which one is the jump button? Wait a minute. There's no fucking jump button? So we get 2 punch buttons, and we can't jump or shoot? Who the hell designed this game? Well, this has all the makings of being shit. So of course, all that we can do here is punch the bad guys. Oh, and punch dogs. I'm sure PETA loves this. Well, no matter. Now it's time to... Huh? Oh, now hold the fucking phone here. So Robocop does have a gun, he just pulled it out halfway through the level? Who the hell designed this shit? Robocop should be using the gun from the very first scene in this game, not when you reach the halfway point. But no matter, we'll just shoot our way through some lemons and make us some lemonade. The odd thing is that I really can't get a good shot in at these enemies unless I kneel first and fire. And with these wonky controls, well, sometimes that's difficult to do. Talk about a pain in the ass. And this gets super repetitive too. Forward, kneel, fire. Forward, kneel, fire. Forward, kneel, fire. Forward, kneel, fire. Forward, kneel, fire! What the hell? Rob the robot! Yeah, that cool? I found them all broken in your closet and fixed them for you. Are you out of your mind? That thing tried to kill me before. Not to worry, guys. I reprogrammed him so he's one of the good guys now. You sure about that? Yep, positive. Really? Stay. Good robot. Okay, so towards the end of the first level, we come to a building labeled Data East, who coincidentally enough are the developers of this game. Nothing like a quick shameless plug, right? Although I am concerned about how one of the guys jumps out its windows and tries to kill you. Makes you wonder what the hell kind of a workplace environment is going on in there. So after a level of beating up dogs, gun snafus, and fighting off Data East banditos, we arrive at the Stage 1 boss. Now, it's not really hard to kill if you remember how to sneeze, or I mean block. But if you did forget, then your ass will be beaten down. Now, I'm not sure how it's possible for a thug to hurt Robocop using only his fists, but somehow this asshole actually manages to do it. And don't even think about using your gun on this guy because, well, he'll just block those attacks with his fists. Again, how does any of this make sense? Forget it. And wait a minute. Oh, come on, just look at this super punching bullshit. What the hell is that? You stupid game. What would the real Robocop say about this?
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, let's just skip ahead to level 2, where the first half of the level takes place in a dark alley at night. And it's here that all kinds of crazy stuff can happen. Especially your bullets managing to kill bad guys without even actually touching them. Weird. The hell, I'll take it. I guess things are looking up after all. Killing off bad guys? Check. Killing off guys with flamethrowers? Check. Walk inside the courthouse with guys in pursuit, and Robocop puts away his gun? You dumbass. Guess I spoke too soon. Who the hell would put their gun away in that kind of a situation? So now I guess we can only gather that the mysterious 4th classified Robocop directive is to act like a retard. Because only a complete jackass would put his gun away during the middle of a fight. Ugh. And speaking of fight, don't these bad guys kinda look like Flint from G.I. Joe? Same color, same beret, Yo Joe! And these guys can be found everywhere too. The 3rd level warehouse, the 4th level OCP building, and the, holy crap, the ED-209! And this guy does not go down with a fight either. Now if you manage to beat him, then of course he goes running back to his mama. Oh, poor baby, go run back to your mama. Whoa, thanks Rob. Huh, might be useful to have this guy around after all. Kinda like having your own personal Robocop. Or should I say, Robocop? Robocop? Robocop. Funny how that works out. Well, let's get back to the game. Okay, now it's on to the 5th level. And it's here that we get to hunt down the ringleader of the bad guys. And it turns out to be the dad from that 70s show? Boy, I guess that guy gets around. Well, no matter. Time to blow his ass away. Alright. And hell, let's not stop there either. Time for the bonus round. Take that, Ashton Kutcher. Eat lead, Fez. Time to die, Milo. Ah, damn it, I just killed off the cutest one. And you know what? She did date Macaulay Culkin there for a while, so I guess the universe has corrected itself. Now it's time to storm into the 6th level with guns blazing. Of course, as soon as you enter into the building, Robocop puts his gun away again. You metal-headed jackass. Just look at all the guys coming at me now. Once you reach the very end of this stage, we come up against another ED-209. And of course, there's no point in breaking a sweat with this guy when we can just call in Robocop to take care of him. Hey, Robocop! Hey, take care of this jackass for me. Yeah, take that, you metal-plated prick. Now, even though I was never too crazy about the first Robocop game, I was surprised to find out recently that this game here was actually ported from an arcade version. An arcade version? Well, shovel my shit in a barrel. Let's check this out, muchacho. And we find out that not only is the arcade game superior to the console version, but this game ends up being the very Robocop game I was hoping the NES game could have been all along. Because just look at these graphics. Incredible. The gameplay is very fluid, and upon reaching the halfway point... so that's why the NES version does that. Well, I guess I'll just let this thing slide then, because with a game this well polished, I don't even care anymore. Shooting up these bad guys just made my day, punk. And how can you go wrong with a game that features the ED-209 as the very first stage boss? Where the hell was this thing in the first stage of the NES game? Instead, we're given this knuckle-faced asshole to contend with.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Now, if you're also looking for a handheld version of Robocop, well, we've got you covered, because there's one for the Game Boy as well. And as soon as we start this game, well, we actually have a gun in our hand, and we can jump as well? Son of a biatch! Already this game is better than the NES version. How the hell does that happen? And of course, I just love how smooth the gameplay is here as well. Just hold down that fire button, and bullets fly across the screen to wipe out all the bad guys. While I do find this version more enjoyable to play over the NES version, I do find it kind of annoying on how quickly the bad guys can kill me off here. Even though that power meter down here looks mighty impressive at first, it only takes a few minutes in this game before your ass is face down eating pavement. Damn it! Good luck reaching that first boss! Oh, go suck a robo-dick, you assholes! Alright, well, enough of Robocop 1, because I want to switch gears to Robocop number 2. Because once the sequel to this movie hit theaters, well, the multiple game adaptations soon followed. Alright, and already we're off to a great start, because in this game, we can jump. Now we're talking. So the point here is to find as many of these nuke pieces as you can, as well as taking out the bad guys along the way. Yeah, and shot him right in the ass, too. Of course, once you reach the end of the level, the game tallies up your score, and it's time to advance to the next... What the hell? Oh, what? I failed? How the hell did that happen? and they don't even tell you what you did wrong either. Great, now I'm sent back to the beginning of the game. I guess we'll just try this again. Grab this piece, grab that piece, smack this guy around a bit, and bam! Through the magic of video editing, we're back at the end again in no time flat. Now let's see what happens. I fell again, you piece of shit! I wonder if Peter Weller has any words of encouragement for us.
It's your move, creep.
I just love that this guy's here. Alright, let's beat this bitch. Well, if I take a crack at this again, and again, and again. Hot damn, proceed to firing range. Finally, we get to see another level in this stupid game. Alright, so here we are in the shooting gallery, and you're only supposed to fire on the people holding a gun. Shoot anything else, and it'll count against you. Alright, now fire! Fire!
Rabble, rabble.
Fire! Okay, so after finishing out the level, I managed to get all but 2 of them. But no matter, I'll just try again. What the hell? They send you back to the beginning again? Why those motherfucking shove it straight up there. How the hell is anybody supposed to defeat this game if they keep sending you back to the first level? You die, you start at the beginning of the game. Fail your mission, start at the beginning of the game. Fail the second level, return to the beginning of the game. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if dying at any point in this game makes you return to the beginning of it. What a bunch of fecal flinging crap. Robocop will try again? Not on my watch, he won't. Now let's go ahead and check in on these other installments like the Game Boy version here. The first level seems to be a perfect replica of the NES title, right down to that stupid fire hydrant. And throughout this first level, well, it seems again we have a mission to save hostages, which kinda looks like they're offering up prayers to their sun god or some shit. Weird. Well, at least the game's controls are pretty decent. Shoot the bad guys, collect hostages, and yeah, all around fun. Well, up until you reach the end of this level, that is. Huh? I haven't arrested enough nuke smugglers, so I have to redo the level? Motherfucker, not this bullshit again! And they send me back to the beginning of the level, just like the NES bullshit! And even if I go back and play through this level a second time, and really try my best to do just that, well, I still get this damn screen! Look, when this game came out, I was 11 years old, and I made $5 a week in allowance. Now, if I'm gonna plunk down 6 weeks of money on this game, at least let me be able to reach the second fucking level for crying out loud! Ah! Well, enough of this garbage. It's time to upgrade to the arcade version. And damn it all, check out the first scene of this game. Actual stills from the movie?
Robocop.
Talk about a good omen. Start the game and hell yeah! We're dropped right into a slobber knocker of a good time. Now this is definitely not the same game ported to the Nintendo systems. So what the hell happened here? This arcade game right here is what we should have gotten, not some endless looping bullshit that keeps sending us back to the game's beginning. And this arcade game has everything Robocop 2 should have been. Well, all except for that weird button mechanic where the one button fires your gun to the left while the other button fires your gun off to the right. Oh, brother. And this becomes a major pain in the ass as you toggle back and forth just to keep up with all the bad guys coming at you. But despite that, however, well, this ends up becoming a fun game, especially since you can smash this truck up into an accordion. You won't see this shit in an NES game.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Yep, words to live by. Alright, so now let's go ahead and talk about Robocop 3 because there is a lot to cover with this title. Since this game was released in 1993, well, Robocop 3 here ended up getting ported to every system available at the time. The NES, the SNES, the Master System, the Sega Genesis. Damn, this might take me a while. Let's go ahead and start with the NES version. And interestingly enough, this turns out to be the best of the Robocop games. Now you won't be encountering all that crap that pissed you off in the first 2 games. Instead, the only thing that'll probably drive you nuts here is having to shoot the enemies 3 or 4 times before they actually die. Oh come on, once isn't enough? Robocop is half man, half robot. This is an amateur hour here. If he shoots you, I guarantee your ass is going down. Enough said. Although on the plus side, there is this cool level where you get to fly around on a jetpack. Look at him go! Once you reach the end of this stage and kill off the ending boss, you get the pleasure of heading back the way you came. No matter. I'll just jetpack over all this stuff and... Where the fuck's my jetpack? So on my return trip, I have to go back jetpackless? Lame. And now you gotta try your best to jump over these giant holes that you could so easily fly over before. Not for crying out loud. Could this game get any worse? Son of a bitch! Now, all jokes aside, this game really isn't too bad. And during certain points of the game, you can even upgrade your body armor. Yeah, time to pimp out your Robocop. Wonder if I can purchase hydraulics. Look at him go! Now, even though Robocop 3 is pretty decent on the NES, when we find that the same game released on the Master System is, well, pretty much the same game. Same dark alleys, same type of gameplay. So yep, nothing really new to show off here. But if we head on over to the Super Nintendo version of Robocop 3, we find the same game yet again, but now with upgraded graphics that gives this game a certain charm that the other versions lack. Now, I just love how Robocop has those robotic movements to him as he walks across the screen, and it's something that the older consoles just can't replicate. And if we compare this game to the Sega Genesis version, well, they're pretty much identical. So yeah, looks like no matter what the system, you just can't go wrong with Robocop 3. Now, if you thought these games was the end of the legacy of Robocop on video game consoles, well, you'd be sadly mistaken. Because in 1992, there was a crazy comic book series that debuted called Robocop vs. Terminator, which pitted both these franchises together. And the concept was so interesting that someone decided to bring this into a video game. And 1 year later, in 1993, Robocop vs. Terminator was released for the Super Nintendo. And if you ask me, well, I think my money's on Robocop to win since that's the character we play through in the game. So as we go around hunting gang members, who have apparently formed an alliance with the T-1000s for reasons not explained here, well, this game turns out to be really fun. The graphics are fantastic, and the dark alleys in this video game never look so great. But if we want to turn things up a notch, well, we need to turn to the Sega Genesis, because now when you blow away the enemy, holy shit, it becomes a blood-splattering bloodbath. Now, of course, you won't see anything like this on the Super Nintendo because of all their no-blood policies, so it'd be Sega who ended up soaking up that bloody sponge of a game right up. Ugh, gross. But awesome. Although the Super NES version had the superior graphics, well, the Sega version was just, graphic. And the coolest thing is by the end of Stage 1, we come face to face with a Terminator and melt his skin away to reveal that endoskeleton underneath. Bitchin'. Now, a really cool fact about this game was that a version of it was supposed to be ported to the NES as well, but since it was 1993, towards the end of its lifespan, well, that never happened. But if we take a look at this unreleased version, we instantly see that this game is pretty darn impressive for an NES game. I mean, this really could have been awesome. And you know what? This game kind of reminds me of the Batman game for the NES too. You know, it just drives me absolutely nuts to know that there was a slew of NES games out there that were left unreleased because they're in production towards the end of the NES lifecycle. And a lot of them were dropped because these game companies dumped them in favor of working on these Super Nintendo versions. And that's ultimately why this game was squashed. In fact, the game developer of this game, Greg Tavares, stated, "It was a very bad game. The artist couldn't deal well with the limits of the NES, so it looks very bad, and the designer was recently promoted playtester, and he didn't really know what he was doing." And don't you just hate that? I mean, I'm looking at this game right now, and it looks pretty damn impressive to me. These guys got so self-conscious about the limitations of the NES over newer game consoles that they just abandoned it? Wow. And I would have loved to see this game released, the Super Nintendo be damned. Because believe me, I've played a lot of bad NES games, and honestly, this is one title I would have paid to have in my collection. But they did end up making a version onto the Game Boy, and it pretty much plays like the previous Robocop Game Boy games. That gives you tons of staged puzzles to jump around through along the way. And gosh damn it all, I've been sitting here playing so many Robocop games, I'm not late for my meeting. Hey, no worries, buddy. I finally got that ED209 all fixed up and rewired for you. You did? Well, hot damn, Tony. Alright guys, well I'm out of here, and a special thanks to Peter Weller for being a part of this episode.
So listen, Chris Irate, thank you for the shout out. Thank you for playing the games. Keep playing the Robocop games. All you irate gamers should keep playing those Robocop games. This is Dr. Peter Weller saying Pax. That's Latin for peace, brother. In the words of Robocop, one more time, keep playing those games and stay out of trouble.
Yes! Ah, this is the only way to travel. Boy, this thing's so awesome. Huh. Let's go over to AVGN's house and knock it down. All right, ED209! Ah, finally! After 20 long years, I've got the entire family of Marvel games on the NES here together in one place. What a fantastic looking family too. Nothing can ruin this day now.
Think again, irate gamer.
What? No! No! Oh no! My Marvel family is dead! Except for the Punisher. I must get revenge, just like the Punisher did. Let's do this! Well, the Avengers have certainly gained the spotlight over the years, but move over, guys, because it's time to check out The Punisher. And with Netflix and their merry band of B-list superhero shows brought to life,
what kind of name is the Devil of Hell's Kitchen anyway?
More people now than ever know who Frank Castle and The Punisher is, more than ever. Now, the character of The Punisher was first created in 1974 by a guy named Jerry Conway. And the first time that The Punisher actually appeared was in the issue of Spider-Man as one of his adversaries. And after his first appearance, well, he gained a pretty large following shortly thereafter. And believe it or not, The Punisher here was actually the first Marvel character to get his own film adaptation. And that film debuted on the big screen in 1989, which was self-entitled as The Punisher. And when I say debuted, I mean the writers took the screenplay to this thing, wiped their own ass with it, and then used the shit stains to connect the dots and make their script with that.
Now let me tell you something about this Punisher, whoever he is. If he ever shows up within 1,000 yards of me, he'll find out what the word punished really means.
Pathetic. So yeah, The Punisher was off to a pretty rocky start, but thankfully the character was given a little bit more room to grow over the years, with another Hollywood movie, a couple of video games, as well as his own series on Netflix. So yep, there's certainly a lot of love for this character now, and it's kind of cool to see because back in the 1980s, well, it wasn't that way. I remember actually picking up these comics in the 80s and reading them, and it wasn't your typical comic book character. You know, I was into Ninja Turtles and Uncle Scrooge and the Harvey comics, so for me to pick up the Punisher, it was really against the grain from all that stuff, but I was like, wow, there's something really cool about this character because he's going around slinging a gun and just killing everything that moves. It was kind of wild. So yeah, to see this character getting a really big push now is great. And even though every film appearance of the Punisher is either hit or miss, well, the same thing could be said about the games here. So for this review, well, we're gonna be checking out all the Punisher games and seeing which one is the best. And we'll just go ahead and start off this review by reviewing the NES version, which, wait a minute, Batman. We can't mix universes, get out of here. So at the startup screen here, we have 3 different game options to choose from, with this guy's ugly mug staring back at us from the first screen of the game. Ugh, ugly bastard. Well, I guess we'll try to kill him first because, well, he just looks like an evil piece of shit. So during this first level, well, we see that this game takes on the form of an on-rails arcade shooter. And this is a game genre which only a handful exist on the NES. And if you ask me, it is tailor-made for a character like the Punisher. The premise here is simple. Play as Frank Castle, who is a detective in this version, instead of a Vietnam War veteran like in the comics, and you'll have to go through this slow, side-scrolling adventure, blasting the shit out of anything that walks, including dive bombers, drug dealers, and more by shooting them or launching grenades at them. Alright, fire in the hole, asshole! And just like with any other shoot-'em-up game, you'll be able to shoot up all kinds of power-ups to increase your arsenal. Hell yeah! And oddly enough, sitting right beside all your arsenal icons is the game prominently reminding you that you're playing the game Punisher, just in case you forget what the hell you're actually playing here. Because God forbid we might actually think we're playing Paperboy for a second here. Yeah, like that's actually gonna happen. Now I'm sure you're probably just waiting for me to unrelentlessly shit all over this game, but nope, not gonna happen. Because the game Punisher isn't all that bad. And hell, saying that for a game made by AVGN, who were also the premier guys behind making Thundercats into an action figure line in the 1980s, says a lot. Now throughout this side-scrolling adventure, I do have some burning questions here. What the hell is Frank Castle standing on anyway? Because on the first stage here, this dude just hovers past oceanside docks, water, out into the ocean. Yeah, just float on by there, buddy. And where the hell are we going now? Is that Alcatraz? How the hell did Frank Castle shoot his way into a maximum security prison just to take down the bad guys? He must be packing some serious shit in that artillery belt to get past that arsenal. Either that, or the thing he's floating on has magical powers to get you in anywhere. Wait a minute, what's this? We now find ourselves in Super Mario? Hell yeah, time to take down those Goombas! Now another thing I want to mention about this game is, where the hell's all the background music at? Now, I like the sound of gunfire as much as the next guy, but at least give me a music track to bust a cap in these guys with. I'm not sure why there's no music in this game, but I'm sure the game developers must have saved a fortune by cutting all those musical production costs. In fact, the only thing to break the monotony of this background noise is this saxophone player here, who for some reason is playing in the middle of a firefight. Damn, talk about dedication. I'd give him a tip, but yeah, I think I left it in my other artillery belt. Alright, so now we find ourselves entering into a bonus stage in this game. And you know what? My skills can use some honing, so let's get down to business. So, what are they having me do here? Pummel a tied up drug dealer until the timer runs out? What the hell is up with that? This is a bonus stage? Looks like the same damn level I was just in. Here I am getting ready to shoot some balloons or some shit. And this is what the game gives us as a bonus stage. Oh boy, this is like the game developers were saying, you want a bonus stage? Well, too bad. We're gonna give you the same thing that the 1980s Punisher movie gave you. A bunch of shit. Well, at least killing the ending boss here will make up for it. Yeah, rest in peace, you ugly fuck. And once getting to the next level, well, it's back to more side-scrolling shooting action. Yep, time to float on by these other levels and do everything we already just did 5 times over. Well, at least the bosses in each level come exactly from the comics, because they give us Colonel Klieg, Hitman, Sideshow, Assassin, Kingpin. Yep, they're all here. And the degree of difficulty on these guys ranges from spraying bullets at your ass, trying to slice up your ass, and hey, just stand there while I'll shoot at your ass. And that's just great, because all this ass play going on, down to my last roll of toilet paper. Ah! Ah! Okay, so that guy was pretty easy, but as for the other guys, well, they get pretty tough, and a little consistency here would have been great. Now this guy should have been a damn boss. Get out of here! But if you're able to reach the end, and that may be a long shot here, but let's just say you do, you'll receive one lame-ass ending where the Punisher tells you the streets are safe once again before making some ominous Batman-like pose. Oh man, the brooding is so thick in here I could cut it with a knife. Or in the Punisher's case, shoot it with an AK-47. Well anyway, when it comes to the NES version of the Punisher, well, it's definitely not the definitive version that I want to play. Especially since game developer AVGN was at the helm. And as you know, they also had a hand in X-Men, Spider-Man, Wolverine. You know how it goes. Now I'm sure all you guys are thinking, hey, wait a minute, Irate Gamer. What if I want to play a Punisher game while on the way to anger management class from playing the NES version? Well, don't worry, because we've got a Game Boy version for that, which is called the Punisher Ultimate Payback. Now this game could almost pass as a Game Boy port of the NES game, but one thing that's different is the game's intro, because the storyline in this game seems to be more impressive than the NES version. So how the hell did that happen? Shouldn't the NES's version be superior to this one? Because the NES game jumps from the logo to Frank's face, then to the game. In the Game Boy version, well, you'll get a whole damn rundown of the story, then it jumps into a cameo of Spider-Man? Spider-Man? How the hell did the Game Boy version get Spider-Man? Whoa, 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 somebody call 911. I've been robbed again. Wow, and just look at this cool storyline. Spider-Man tells me he needs help rounding up terrorists at the mall, and I'm the one that needs to put a stop to it. Wait a minute. Spider-Man does know who he's talking to, right? So he wants the Punisher, who shoots to kill, to help him out. Is Spider-Man looking for a bloodbath here or what? Well, despite this crazy alliance, I have to say this game and level is pretty darn decent. You go around in the shopping mall here and shoot everything on the screen. Yeah, take that 50% off sale and shove it up your ass, Macy's! End up finishing this job, and Spider-Man will come back to you to give you even more orders that'll help him clean up the city. And of course my question is, since when did Frank Castle take orders from anyone, especially Spider-Man? And telling me to shoot up a mall full of innocent shoppers? This is not the helping the elderly across the street Peter Parker that I know. Now yeah, both the NES and Game Boy versions are a good way to pass the time, but if you want a more definitive version of the Punisher to play in video game form, then might I suggest the arcade version? Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about. And this game has it all. Flashy intro, a great story, fantastic graphics, and a beat-em-up gameplay style that fits the character beautifully. Oh man, I'm so happy I'm about to bust a cap in these guys. Haha, take that. Talk about doing fan service to the character. This video game becomes one incredible ride for just 25 cents a game. And thankfully, if you want to replicate this experience at home, then might I suggest the Sega Genesis version of the Punisher, which is a direct port of that arcade version. For all you Nintendo purists out there, well, looks like Sega's got the drop on you this time. Because if you want that arcade Punisher experience at home, well, Sega's got you covered. And this game is light years better than its Nintendo predecessor. And this is one of the first beat-em-ups that I've seen double as a shooter game. Now the story is as basic as they come. The Punisher slaughters wave after wave of criminal scum to get to Kingpin. And unlike the first Nintendo game, this one is a co-op. Well, that's refreshing. So not only can you play as the Punisher, but a friend can also take on the role of Nick Fury, who looks a little different from his movie counterpart. Must be the haircut. So now if we show the arcade version side by side to the Sega Genesis version, well, we see some sacrifices had to be made to bring this to your friendly neighborhood home console. Because all the elements of the arcade game couldn't be carried over to the Sega port because of software limitations, but I do find that both games can be superior in their own ways. Yes, I know a plethora of features were left out of the Sega Genesis port, and you can tell that right off from the game's intro. Oh man, they left that out too? And as for the graphics, well, some of these areas might look like the developers took the arcade version and scripted the shit out of this thing with a cheese grater. Sega also had a couple issues with censorship and removed that cigar from Nick Fury's mouth, toned those female ninjas down so they're no longer trying to look like they're getting demonetized, and they removed a lot of blood and gore and guts as well. And of course, gore being removed from a Punisher game? Boy, that's irony if I ever heard it. But besides those minuscule issues, this one is a pretty good solid game, and gets the Irate Gamer seal of not being ass. Now after that Sega port was released, well, the Punisher scene remained dormant for 11 years, besides a couple of animated appearances and a 2004 movie. But all that changed in 2005 when Deep Silver Volition released the Punisher for the Xbox, PlayStation 2, and PC. And the gameplay on this one is sort of a mix between Gears of War and Manhunt, because this one does actually make you feel like you're playing as the Punisher. One second I'm slicing a man's stomach open with a knife, and the next I'm hanging a drug dealer out the window to impale him with the broken glass. So yep, you could say they really went all out with this game, especially in terms of that violent factor, because this game almost received an adults-only rating from the ESERB system. So yep, you know it's pretty bad when your game makes Rockstar Games look like daycare. And another cool feature about this game is that starring alongside Punisher, well, we have familiar faces like Nick Fury, Black Widow, Daredevil, and hey, Tony Stark, Iron Man. Well, isn't this a surprise?
I need a drink.
And after playing all these mediocre Punisher games, I'm right there beside you there, Tony. Now there was one last video game they made called Punisher No Mercy, but I heard these games were so bad that to experience this mediocre bowl of excrement for myself is far worse than any punishment that the Punisher dishes out on the bad guys. Who the hell wants to play a game like that? So in the end, it looks like we finally found our worst Punisher game, as well as the best. So if you want to play the best, head to your nearest arcade and... You asshole, get back here!
I need a drink.
Oh, welcome back, gamers! Well, as you know, Halloween is fast approaching, so I was just trying to find a video game that'd be perfect to review in this episode to bring in the festive holiday. Yeah, let's see here. There's so many good games to choose from. Ghostbusters, that was fun to rant on. Let's see, ooh, Ghosts and Goblins. Oh boy, I remember ripping that apart. And can you believe it? I reviewed this game back in 2007 during the very first season of the Irate Gamer Show. Boy, it seems like a lifetime ago. Well, I still remember the nightmares this damn thing gave me. Wait a minute, what year is this?
Well, Irate Gamer. Looks like we have a Ghosts N Goblins anniversary to celebrate.
Satan? Oh, no you don't.
No, wait,
Man, that was a close one.
Yep, it's been 13 years there, buddy. And as you know, 13 is my favorite number. So how about reviewing the sequel here, for old time's sake?
Oh God, no. Get off my phone!
Hey, don't say that guy's name around me. Now play this game before I shove a Game Genie up your ass.
Alright, fine. Well, looks like we're going to review the sequel to Ghosts N Goblins on the 13th anniversary of the original review. So let's get ready for the review of Ghosts N Goblins 2. Wait a minute. Ghouls N Ghosts? They actually named the sequel Ghouls N Ghosts? Ah, shit. Halloween is ruined. Ghosts N Goblins for the NES was one of the first games I ever played for the system that definitely scarred my childhood. Now when it comes to the game Ghosts N Goblins, boy, the Irate Gamer has had a tortured history with this one, because back when I first got an NES, the very first game that I picked up was Mock Rider. Boy, I thought this was a piece of shit video game, so I ended up taking it back, and back in those days, you could actually take Nintendo games back within a 30-day grace period, and that's what I did. So I took Mock Rider back, and I picked up Ghosts N Goblins, and that's where my tortured past with this game starts to come into play, because I spent hours and hours and hours just trying to get off that first level, which I never did. So yeah, when it comes to NES games, well, Ghosts N Goblins is at the top of my shit list. And to make matters even worse, it took me years to figure out that this game was actually based off an arcade game. And you know how that goes. You sit there and pump quarters endlessly into this game. So the game developers actually made these games harder than they could be so they could milk you for every quarter you had. And when they ported the arcade game to the NES, well, they left that damn difficulty level right where it was, and this game became harder than a petrified dinosaur ballsack in cement. What a total shit show. And a few years later, well, Capcom decided to rape our childhoods once again when they brought us a Ghosts N Goblins sequel. But if you thought they were going to put the sequel to Ghosts N Goblins on the NES here, well, nope, we're going to port this game onto the Sega Genesis. And if you thought they were going to call the sequel to this game Ghosts N Goblins 2, well, common sense be damned yet again, because for this installment, well, they changed the name to Ghouls N Ghosts. So you mean to tell me the original game, which the entire franchise was hinged on, would be scrapped in favor of calling it Ghouls N Ghosts? I mean, yeah, the ghosts are still there, but where the hell did all the goblins go? So, did they all take a hike, or is it now racially insensitive to call them all goblins? Oh, this fucking cancel me culture. Gag me. Well, whether it's ghouls, goblins, or ghosts, bullshit, I just want to play this game. Alright, so there's the startup logo, Ghouls N Ghosts, and if you want a backstory to this game, well, you're not going to get one like in the first installment, well, because they decided this shit needed revamping too. But if we check out the instruction booklet to this game, oh yeah, there's the epic storyline we were looking for. It seems like Satan is back to his old bag of tricks by kidnapping the princess, who seems to get kidnapped more than the Mario princess at this point. But yep, this is everything you'd come to expect from the storyline, especially this line right here that says, odds aren't even by far. Yeah, we played the first game. Talk about the understatement of the century. Poor Arthur here has as much chance as winning this game organically as finding a dildo in a donut. And of course, after that startup screen, well, we see the iconic map laid out before us, which shows us the complete shitstorm that lies ahead that Arthur is going to have to fight through until reaching damn Satan himself.
Well, Arthur, looks like we finally meet again. Good luck on your travels, asshole. You're gonna need it. Oh, why did I have to start smoking again?
Now, if you find the classic look of the original game very nostalgic, you're gonna just love this installment since the graphics have been given a complete facelift. Just look at that creepy graveyard with skulls everywhere and Grim Reapers chasing me down. Yep, just a regular Friday night at the Irate Gamer household. And as far as the gameplay goes, this one will make you feel right at home, as it's very similar to Ghosts and Goblins with all the jumping, throwing weapons, hitting enemies, and also putting up with that 2 hits and you're dead bullshit. Ah! Damn it! Motherfucker! You gotta be kidding me! 2 hits? 2 hits! 1, 2. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Dead, gone, fucked. Yep, and this is the exact same thing that happened in the first installment. Oh, but wait a second. In this installment, oh, look at that. We get brand new armor to dish out extra power-ups at the enemy. Nice. Just check out this gold armor here. That lets you electrically charge your attack and destroy all the enemies around you. Now it's time to go He-Man on these assholes.
I have the power!
Oh, I love this! Where the hell was this power up during the first game? And just look at this. I love how these birds blow up after killing them. Such a cool Looney Tunes-esque moment. Now the only disadvantage to having all these new upgrades is that, well, you end up reverting back to your tighty-whities after only 1 hit. 1 hit? What the shit, mu capitan? So, yep, Capcom tickles your ass with a feather by saying, hey buddy, we're gonna give you a new powerful suit that makes you look protected, but we're just gonna poke some holes into this armored condom, rendering it useless. Ah, great, thanks Capcom. Now my old lady is knocked up with demonic succubus twins. Well, despite my baby mama dramas, I do have to say that these stages really are something. Halfway through the first level, a windstorm comes through and blows everything around. And you won't see anything like this on the NES. Or how about these cool weapons like slicing shit in half with swords, bashing skulls in with axes, impaling them with daggers, or just LARPing as one of those yuppie loser assholes that loves to play frisbee golf all day by throwing discuses. God help us that that's an actual thing. Ugh. Well, as long as this game allows me to shoot in every direction, I can take on those nasty vultures and those damn sons of Satan. Wait a minute, sons of Satan? Where the hell did this guy get kids? But here again, if we make one wrong move in this game, ah shit, another pile of bones coming right up. And of course we have to sit there and watch this map scroll by every goddamn time I die. Yeah, just rub it in our faces, Capcom. It's like they're telling us, you think you're really gonna reach all these later levels? Oh, it's like they're sitting there and mocking us.
No, take your time, Arthur. I've got time to burn. I'm just hanging out here drinking some pina coladas, getting a mani-pedi. See you in another 13 years, douchebag.
Now I should point out that with this first level here, you'll be able to get pretty far in it with some practice. But unfortunately, once reaching the ending boss, even your blood blisters will end up getting blood blisters from trying to beat this guy. Ah, fingers don't fail me now. Come on, get him! Ah! You corn on the cock! Ah! You know, this game is pretty darn ridiculous, because any other guy that had his girlfriend kidnapped by Satan would say, ah, to hell with this, I'm not fighting through a million demons to get her back. But of course not Arthur. Nope, this dude is so whipped that he's on a mission to fight through skull mountains, cities on fire, castles of pigmen, icy tundras of despair, and tons of other demonic imagery that I'm sure all originated from a Black Sabbath record. And what really sucks about this game is where you have the first level that's as difficult as the last level. Oh, it makes me want to throw this game right off a fucking cliff. Ah! Ah! Ah!
Oh, calm down, Arthur. You'll get here eventually. Yeah, when humans stop fighting over whose political dick is bigger. Oh, man, I need a drink.
Now, once getting to these later levels, my god, there's more evil here than Satan himself. Well, with level 3, we have all these moving floors, and one wrong move will kill your ass. And what's with all this shit flying around me? Get out of here! This is damn near impossible to defeat. Then we have these McJagger demons trying to tongue me to death. Back off, dude! I've got a girlfriend. And then we have this Kirby's Adventure rip-off Cloud character trying to kill me at the end of this level. Time to get a new gimmick, bud. So now that we're diving deeper into this game, I gotta say, once again, the graphics actually turn out to be rather awesome. We have giant fish, snake platformy things. Yep, the level design here is just beautiful. And when these pig guys try to vomit on you, you know there's a kick-ass party going down. But my favorite has to be level 2 with all this fire in the background. And the music in this level just can't be beat. Yeah, turn this up. Get these guys a record deal or something. But unfortunately, I think the game developers ran out of ideas at some point, because towards the end of this game, will we fight nothing but the same damn bosses we had to fight in previous levels? Oh, for crying out loud, this is just asinine. Ah! Hey! Keep it in the game, buddy! So after fighting through 6 levels, beating bosses, and re-beating bosses, we arrive at the final bad guy of the game, and it's some giant bug. Oh, for God's sake, Capcom. If you're gonna sit here and change the name from Ghosts and Goblins to Ghouls and Ghosts, why the fuck am I fighting a bug here? You should've gave me some boss man ghoul to actually defeat here. Well, no matter. Time to go Will Smith Independence Day on his ass. So with him out of the way, it's time to end this game, get the girl, and call it a day.
That's what I call a close encounter.
And now the game ends, and wait a minute. Where the hell's this old dude? What the hell kind of an ending is this? Oh, wait a minute, there's the princess. Oh, thank God. For a second, I thought this game would send you back to the first level to make you defeat it all over again. Alright, now that's what I'm talking about. And they just sent me back to the first level. Mother sucker double fucker times 2! They did it to me again!
I can't believe you fell for that shit again! Oh, your expression was priceless! Now let me get a picture of that for my Instagram account.
This overflowing satanic cesspool of brimstone and fuck just pulled the same exact shit as last time! What the hell is up with this gaming franchise? Do they sit there and delight that these games just scarred my childhood? It's bad enough I gotta fight through this game once, but twice? This is worse than having 2 penises and trying to figure out which one to pee out of. So once heading all the way back through this game a second time without breaking your controller, you'll finally defeat that bug and the final doors will open. And who's that final boss that awaits us?
So I said to Arthur, look here, buddy, you want to reach me? You'll have to defeat this game 3 times over. What the hell is here? Oh man, I gotta go, girls.
Well, it's none other than this big, giant, naked demon. Oh, damn, dude, put some pants on for crying out loud. And it looks like his only attack here is all these lasers shooting out of his body. Well, thankfully they kept this thing PG rated and nothing gooey's flying out of that crotch area. So after killing off this Hugh Hefner demigod, the princess is delivered to us and her spirit is restored and, yeah, maybe these guys should get a room. And as far as the ending credits go, well, there really aren't any except for that final screen that says, The End? Oh great, more foreshadowing of the sequel, which is called Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which they put back on the Super Nintendo. Oh, for crying out loud. So the first game's on Nintendo, the second game is on Sega, and the last game is back on the Nintendo? Well, that's gonna have to wait for another time, because after all the ghouls, ghosts, goblins, and devil crotches, I'm spent. So happy Halloween, guys, and game on. Welcome back, gamers, to another spooktacular episode. And today, we're turning to a franchise that goes hand in hand with Halloween, The Simpsons, with their Treehouse of Horror Game Boy video game? I didn't even know this thing existed. Well, I guess it's better than reviewing Luigi's Pumpkin Carving Simulator. Hit the music. When it came to the Simpsons TV show during the Halloween season, well, they always had you covered with the Treehouse of Horror episodes.
There! Right there's a picture! Ah! Zombies! There! Right there's a picture!
The very first installment of this classic series debuted during their second season of 1990, and it has become a yearly staple ever since.
Otto, you gotta do something! There's a gremlin on the side of the bus!
Now, one of the cool things about this program was not a lot of primetime TV shows were doing a lot with Halloween at the time. And this is one of the things that made The Simpsons stand out and become a hit later on in its life cycle.
That's odd. Usually the blood gets off at the second floor.
Now, one of the things I remember fondly was trying to watch Treehouse of Horror #2, because by the second year I was a big fan. I set up my VCR to record it. I had to go on a camping trip, and when I came back I found out that the VCR only recorded the first 10 minutes. I was devastated. I did not get to see that episode until they started to re-air the episodes a few years later in syndication.
Perhaps you're wondering why you have two heads.
So yeah, I was just so mad that I didn't get to see that episode during its airing. But rest assured, when it came to all the subsequent episodes, I was there every week recording it every Halloween season.
Flanders! You're the devil?
It's always the one you least suspect.
Now, the first 6 or 8 of these installments were fantastic, and some of these segments have gone on to become classics in their own right.
But it comes with a free Frogut.
When it comes to episodes like Nightmare on Evergreen Terrace,
Oh, lousy smarts weather.
the Genesis Tub,
Wow, it's almost like seeing into the future.
and of course, the Shinning,
You mean shining?
Shh! You wanna get sued?
these episodes were home runs.
What the hell are you smiling at?
And who could forget that amazing 3D episode where both Homer and Bart find themselves computer animated?
Cool, man.
And this blew my mind when it first aired. Homer fully rendered out in the digital world. Wow. And that episode was highly talked about the next day at my school. Now, with all the Simpsons video games that have been released over the years, I was surprised to find out recently that they made a Simpsons Treehouse of Horror video game in 2001. And since I always loved this awesome holiday series, I can't wait to plug this into my Game Boy and check this one out. And the first thing we see here is a pretty fun Halloween intro to the game. Oh man, this is really getting me geared up for this installment. And in this first level here, damn, we find out that it's based off that bad Dreamhouse episode. And it looks like I have to go through the level here and find the Simpsons dog who was left behind. Because if we check out the end of the actual episode, oh yeah, the dog isn't there. Oh, wait a minute, the house imploded at the end of the episode, so that means it doesn't exist anymore, right? Okay, so we're gonna have to suspend belief here a little bit, but that's okay because I know this game is gonna be epic. But unfortunately, after playing this game for 5 minutes, my excitement for it bursts open wider than a wet fart on a wooden chair. The game doesn't just have you playing through stage after stage trying to defeat enemies. Nope, because THQ here thought it would be more fun to turn each level into a video game shit-tastic scavenger hunt. Oh god, I hate those. Fuck! Oh, sorry, I forgot it was Halloween. Fuck! There we go, that's better. And not only do you have to run all around this stupid house and collect these stupid fuse box pieces and put them in this fuse box here, but you also have to run around and collect all these damn keys just so you can unlock the attic where your dog is located. And of course you can't get into the attic unless the fuse box is operational, or you'll be left in the dark to be beaten the shit out of by the enemy that you can't even see. Oh man, this sucks. So during your race all around this bad dream house, you'll be attacked by all sorts of possessed cleaning appliances, including vacuum cleaners, flying books, and even broomsticks. Oh great, now we're parodying Mickey Mouse cartoons? Well, I guess I'm fine with all this brave little toaster bullshit going on here, but where are all those bleeding walls and monsters at? Oh, wait a minute, there they are. Monster hands coming out of the sink and floorboards. Well, not really what I had in mind, but it is kind of reminiscent of that Simpsons zombie episode, so I guess I'll let it slide. And if you get hit once by these monsters, Jesus, did he just take half my life meter away? What the hell's the point of having such a huge meter down here if you can't even sustain multiple hits from the enemy? Sure, this game gives you a slingshot to attack with, but it doesn't even do anything. Ah, damn it! And what's up with all these rats and spiders running around? I don't recall the bad dream house having a master splinter infestation that needed tending to. And what's worse is that this slingshot weapon they give you sucks balls. You keep firing these projectiles off at weird angles that even trigonometry majors are baffled by the trajectory of.
Here is an ordinary square. Whoa, slow down, egghead.
But if you decide to ditch the slingshot and just go Mario on his ass, well, there goes half my health meter again. It's gonna be a long day. Upon entering the basement, well, here's where things get a little bit tricky, as you now have one of those precision jumping areas to contend with. One wrong move, and it's toxic raw sewage for your ass. Ah! Can't we just skip all this and just jump the Springfield Gorge instead? Well, at least one nice touch they added to this basement was finding that Indian burial ground spread throughout it.
An ancient Indian what? You didn't tell me it was built on an Indian burial ground! Well, that's not my recollection. He says he mentioned it 5 or 6 times.
So once finding all the fuses and finding all the keys, this first level that should have only taken 5 minutes to beat has actually taken us 40 minutes! You freaking fuck! Time to destroy this Fantasia ripoff of a broomstick and get our dog back! Finally! Now it's time to advance to level 2, where we get to play as a different member of the Simpsons family, which is Maggie as a fly? What kind of Jeff Goldblum shit is this? Well, at least there isn't any scavenger hunt craziness going on in this level. Instead, this stage is based off the Fly vs. Fly episode of Treehouse Horror 8, which gives us Maggie as a fly rather than Bart, who actually did turn into a fly in the episode.
Worked!
Look, I'm all for artistic licenses here, but this is just getting ridiculous. Exactly why are we playing as Maggie as a fly? Now, if this level is actually fun, well, I wouldn't give 2 craps about it. But I can't help but feel that I'm playing a rehashed Rescue Rangers game as we fly around the kitchen avoiding obstacles, which some were obviously reserved for Super Mario Bros. But in its defense, I will say it's pretty cool seeing things like Mr. Sparkle, the Three-Eyed Fish, and Krusty Beans. Okay, now that one I don't recall, but make sure you pick up these microchips along the way, because at the end of this level, well, you'll need them to power up that awesome Time Toaster. The Time Toaster? Oh man, so I guess the next level is going to be based off that time travel episode?
Now to take her for a test toast.
Oh man, this level's going to rock my socks up. Ah shit, never mind. Because instead, we're given a Marge running through a zombies level based off that Zombie Simpsons episode. But at least we get to blast away some zombie versions of Apu, Mo, and Principal Skinner. Man, that's just awesome. Well, up until Mo kills my ass. Oh great, now I have to restart the level all over again? This is why no one likes you, Mo. It's bad enough you have to kill Mo like 10 times throughout this level, but just look at all these damn projectiles he throws at you. My god, if this isn't some Silver Surfer bullshit right here, I can't even move an inch without getting the yellow kicked off my ass cheeks. So now that we've fought all these iconic Simpson characters turned into zombies, well, I can't wait to see who this last boss is. Will it be Zombie Flanders? Zombie Shakespeare? Oh, Krusty the Clown. What the hell does he have to do with zombies? It the Clown I can see, but Krusty the Clown? Ah, just ludicrous. Let's just skip to the next level. And, oh yeah! One of my favorite episodes, the Dracula episode from the 4th installment.
Simpson, eh? Excellent.
And now we get to play as Homer, armed with a crossbow? This is awesome! Plus we don't have to deal with any scavenger hunt BS here either. Of course, I wish they perfected the hit mechanic a little bit more here, since half the time my crossbow doesn't even hit the enemy. I might as well just splash these guys with a cup of ghost piss, because the results would have been the exact same. But I will say that this level is pretty darn fun, with the exception of that super fast climb to the top, because those vines are slithering up behind me. Oh my god! Jump, jump, come on, come on! Save me, Jeebus! Made it! And talk about a long-ass level, looks like someone over at THQ really loved this episode, since this damn thing is like 7 stages deep before you reach the end. My god, and we couldn't cut this back a little? Well, after literally playing a half hour through this level, well, we reached the final boss, Vampire Mr. Burns. Now we're talking. And of course, this has to be the frickin' coolest sprite of the entire game. And in order to beat him, well, all you have to do is turn on these lights and, yeah, he's dead. Well, that was dumb. Now this next level here, this should have been completely removed from the game because it serves nothing more than just to piss me off. Now sure, it's neat that this is based off the second episode where Homer becomes a robot.
Sprinkles.
And when I say that, it does sound 1000% cooler than it actually turns out to be. Because we quickly find that this shit sandwich of a level is loaded with a special secret sauce that the one shady person working at McDonald's is jerked off into. In this level, you have no weapons to defend yourself with, there's a boatload of enemies to avoid, and in typical THQ level design fashion, I just keep waiting for something, anything remotely fun and original to happen that helps make this level just pop. Because you just wander around aimlessly and walk, and walk, and walk some more, until you collect all 5 bones spread throughout the level. So where's Lenny, or Carl? I mean, give me something here!
It wasn't supposed to be this way. It was supposed to be a thing of beauty.
The only thing this stage will give you is an ulcer after wasting 30 minutes trying to accomplish this shit. Well, at least the next level has some flair here, as we play as Lisa from the Nightmare Cafeteria episode. And again, we get to go on another aggravating scavenger hunt to unlock all those kids from being eaten. So unless this game plans on having Ooter show up in this damn level, I am out.
Lunch lady, please to have another sloppy Jimbo.
Oh damn, wait a minute, I think that's him! Oh man, I can't wait to see his little pudgy face and... The level ends? Well, finger my ass with a monkey paw! Oh, this pisses me off! The one character I was hoping to see pop out, and instead they just thrust me into a King Homer episode. But with that being said, dare I say that this level is actually fun? And in a video game-like fashion that resembles Rampage, well, we get to tear this city apart King Kong style. And you won't need Peter Jackson or Jack Black to tell me where this level is headed, because at the end of it, well, you'll be able to smash a few planes around, which turn out to be a pain in the ass to destroy. Oh man! Now after finishing this level, well, we reached the end of the game. And if you're looking for something spectacular, well, all we really see is the Simpsons falling out of the treehouse here and being abducted by aliens. Which unfortunately, those aliens never appear in the game. And wait a minute, let me get this straight. The most iconic characters of Treehouse and horror, Kang and Kodos, don't even appear in this game? Who the hell decided this shit?
Holy flirking schnit!
All you see is a flying saucer and, well, the game ends. No Kang, no Kodos, not even a thanks for playing the game, asshole. Well, that's it. Time to go Vampire Mr. Burns on this game. In 1985, the Nintendo was released, and with it, a whole slew of launch titles. Now there are 17 in this collection, and today we're going to review every single one of them, so yeah, strap yourselves in, this may take a while. In October of 1985, Nintendo graced our country with the NES console. Since the system here had been a huge hit in Japan for a few years already, well, they set their sights on the American market, but there was only one problem. We were still reeling from the video game crash of 1983. And unfortunately, retail companies were still avoiding anything to do with video games like the plague. So with that in mind, Nintendo did the genius idea of packaging the NES not as a video game console, but as a toy of the future. And they did this by creating a bundle that came with a controllable robot, a light gun zapper accessory, and 2 video games that would show off the complete mileage of the system. And for the price of $139.99, you can purchase this NES bundle for your very own. And in this first game, Gyromite, well, it would help show off the capabilities of Rob the Robot as you played as Professor Hector, sleepwalking through the level while your companion robot buddy here helps remove any pipe blocking your path. In the other game of Duck Hunt, Well, this would highlight the light gun as you blasted any ducks flying into your line of fire. And fire! 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 Oh, that damn dog! Remember what happened last time, buddy? Oh, I've been waiting a long time for this. Ah, memories. Now, once this NES bundle was released, it successfully broke through the stink of what the video game crash left behind and breathed new life back into this genre. And with it came a full library of 17 other games that you could purchase at the console's launch, all ranging from $20 to $30 each. With such a wide variety of video games, Nintendo had you covered with whatever game tended to feast your fancy. And since the assortment of these games were all over the place, the most iconic of these had to be Super Mario Bros. Throw this game up to any other video game released for the Atari at the time, and there was no contest. Super Mario Bros. Went above and beyond the normal expectations of everything on the market that was released by 1985. Because at the time, these graphics were simply state-of-the-art. The game didn't just limit you to one static screen like Pac-Man and other arcade classics did, but instead, you're given full stages and levels to advance through in order to beat it. And this single-handedly brought game's replayability to a whole other level, jumping on enemies to kill them, finding bonus items within random bricks, random pipes you could drop down into and explore, and hell, the first time I found that warp zone area, let's just say I had to grab a fresh pair of underwear because I literally flipped my shit right then and there. And it was these kind of Easter eggs that just didn't exist in video games at this point. And after this game was released, it spawned a whole revolution in the way games were made in the following decade. Super Mario Bros. Became so popular, Nintendo even included it in a brand new bundle the following year for the holiday season. Now, unfortunately, out of all these launch titles here, there's only one game besides Gyromite that would work with Rob the Robot, and that was a game called Stack Up. And if you're looking for a really fun game to play with this one, well, it just didn't happen because this game wasn't as fun as Gyromite because it involved a lot of repetition, and some of the games, well, you just had to wait for the robot to respond to. And sometimes this could take a while. But thankfully for the light gun, well, the options were a little bit more plentiful. And first up with the game of Hogan's Alley, we are given 3 game modes to choose from. The first one here is a simple target practice game where you have targets scrolling in and you have to use your light gun to blast away any gang members. Ha! Huh! Blast his ass! That's what I'm talking about. Shoot any good guy though, and it'll count against you. Ah, damn it! What the hell? Ah, fuck you! Now when you start this game, they'll give you a few seconds to think about who to target and blast away. But by stage 30, well, you better know what the hell you're doing because the response time is quicker than diarrhea can slide into a milkshake. Oh, come on, I didn't even have time to... Oh, what? Oh, you fucking sucky piece of... Oh, man. I know how that feels. Now in the second game here, well, we upgrade our target practice to having these spinner cutouts dropping in on the city scene here. And of course things get really damn tricky and suspenseful as you try not firing on normal citizens. Ah, damn, you almost got me. I guess all that's left to do now is to shoot these cans here and keep them from reaching the bottom. Oh, for God's sake, what else you got? Alright, let's try the second title here, which is Wild Gunman. And this is a game that puts you right smack in the middle of a shooting duel against any bad guy that comes moseying onto the screen. Draw! Take that, you filthy varmint! Now back in the day, I gotta say these light gun games were the absolute funk, just overflowing with fun, because it was just a great new concept for us kids to have fun with. And of course with this game, I just gotta say it, the music and sound effects were always 2 things I always enjoyed about this one. And especially with all the different character sprites coming to challenge you. Oh man, just look at these crazy cast of banditos. Now the question remains, just which one of these ragtag band of gringos considered that Wild Gunman? I'm not sure, but with all this blasting going on, it's just pretty refreshing that there's no random citizens to pop up in this game and screw up your track record. Oh, is this the Wild West? How'd I get here? What's going on? Ronnie? Oh, I wonder if I can find one of those stores that sells those big giant foam cowboy hats. Ronnie, get the hell out of my game. Oh man, I need to find that store. Now as for these other launch titles, well, if you wanted sports games, boy did Nintendo have you covered. Because if you want football, well here, try 10-Yard Fight on for size. Ported from the arcade game of the same name, this primitive pigskin fight was the best game around that could give you your NFL fix. And man, I remember playing the crap out of this game back then. Now we're a lot of years before Madden ever laid his greasy Cheeto-covered mitts on this football game franchise. So of course we're stuck in the good old days of just passing and running video game sprites. And once trying to tackle someone, what the hell kind of a wonky sound is that? Somehow I don't remember this sound being too annoying back in the day, but in hindsight, I've been playing this game for 5 minutes and I've already got tinnitus. Alright, well anyway, you can't have football without some baseball, so now we're serving up some baseball. And nope, no fancy wordplay here, it's just baseball. Can't get more generic than that. Especially when the game only gives you 6 teams to choose from. Wow, talk about a bare bones game. But interestingly enough, this game was actually developed by the legendary Shigeru Miyamoto. And it's funny because he actually stated one time that the only reason he made this game was because he felt that the NES needed baseball. Now, even though this game is simplistic in design, it can still be very challenging to beat. What? I struck out? Aw, son of a bitch! Alright, so let's switch gears up here to soccer. Wow, now we've got 7 teams to choose from? Well, up yours, baseball. And at the time, well, this game was touted as the best version of soccer around, and that's even despite the fact that every time I score a goal, it looks like the players are about to take off on me. Now, I've never been a big fan of this sport. However, I do enjoy this halftime show. Alright! Yep, keep it going, girls. Doing fine. Alright, well, time to slow things down a bit with some golf here. Now, golf was impressively jam-packed with 18 different holes to play through. And at the time, well, no one, including Nintendo, thought it would be possible to pull off a feat like this. But it was legendary Satoru Iwata that proved them wrong and smashed an impressive 18 holes into this launch title. Despite the small amount of memory needed to produce this game, well, it became very addicting to play. And the most alluring part was that the golfers resembled both Mario and Luigi from Super Mario Bros. Okay, maybe they look more like Lou Albano from the Super Mario Super Show, but that aside, seeing Mario appear in 2 launch games back then was really cool because it wasn't really a common thing that happened back then.
Hey, wait a minute. I was in 2 launch titles too.
Oh, shut up, Professor. I can't tell you how many hours I played this game back in the day. This game was a lot of fun, even if that damn wind came along to mess up every one of my damn shots. Talk about an asshole in one. Okay, now it's time for some tennis. Yeah, like we really need another sports game for the system, but once starting this game... Hey, wait a minute, I know that intro music! That's the same intro music to the game Pro Wrestling, which was also made by Nintendo too? Those sons of bitches. You mean to tell me they used the intro music to both games? Who approved this decision? Simply incredulous. Well, after hearing that iconic theme song lifted, it's time to get to the game of batting this shit back and forth until, hello, is that Mario yet again? Well, damn, Professor Hector! Looks like another point goes to Mario. Hey, don't be a sore loser! So next up is the game of Kung Fu, which I guess is kind of a sports game? Okay, maybe not, but I used to love this game back then, because you'll be fighting through this dojo of death to get your girlfriend back from the bad guy. And if you want to know more, well, check out the awesome review I did of this game a couple years ago. Okay, so finally we have a game that's not a sports game, and that is Clue Clue Land. What the hell's a Clue Clue? Oh, well, I think it's that little bubbly thingamabob here. Well, eat your heart out, Pac-Man, because this little balloon Clue Clue is after your day job. Because he'll be speeding around the screen, flipping around these Legend of Zelda rupees to try and trap enemies with, or attack enemies with. Oh man, this is getting confusing. Well, while it's not as fun as Pac-Man, it's equally not as memorable either. Because this gameplay is a bit on the confusing side, so I guess gamers kind of toss this one away. Especially when you have this butthole-looking thing in the middle of the screen where enemies keep popping out of. Well, figure out how to beat this level, and the sides of the screen will start to flicker, causing a Pokemon Porygon episode-sized seizure to occur.
Porygon!
Alright, here we have Ice Climber next, and this is probably one of the hardest games in the Launch Games lineup. And since these characters appear in Super Smash Bros., well, I'm sure this game has seen a whole new generation of fans. But the basic concept here is to scale your way up 32 levels per stage until reaching the top. Along the way, you'll encounter birds, yetis, and bears in Speedos wearing sunglasses. Boy, you could tell this game was made in the 1980s with this kind of shit running around in it. The thing that really sets this game apart is the jumping mechanic. Once progressing upward, well, the bottom ledge will disappear, leaving you wide open to drop down to your death. This feature has polarized NES fans into either hating or loving this mechanic. You dick waffle covered in dripping diarrhea! I hate this game!
Oh, chill out. It's not that bad.
Alright, I guess it isn't that horrible. Bonus levels. My god, this will make you want to blow that hole right out of your ass! Well, let's move on to the game of Pinball, which, well, they did try to spruce up this gameplay a bit with adding penguins and little duckies here. Aww. But you'll also get a bonus game here featuring Mario and Pauline from Donkey Kong? Huh, well that's now 4 games we've got featuring Mario. Up yours, Professor! No! So after checking out all 16 of these launch titles, we come to the final one, which is Wrecking Crew. And this game brings our total of Mario games up to 5 because it features our favorite plumber. Now oddly enough, this game was a fun sleeper hit of its time because this puzzle game makes you break doors and explode bombs in the correct order so that you can beat this level. And if you mess that up, you can't beat the level and you are fucked, sir. Oh, and don't think you're getting by without having some weird-ass monsters to chase you down. Because if we check out the instruction book here, well, they're called Eggplant Men and Gotcha Wrenches? Gotcha Wrenches? They couldn't come up with a better name than Gotcha Wrenches? Whatever. Now, even though this was a fun game, it turns out that they actually made 2 sequels to this one, which never made it onto a US gaming console. Oh man, it's like a gotcha wrench right up the ass. Alright, so there you have it. 17 launch games in 1 review. Oh man, we're on the other side of that one. And like I said, Mario had 5 games where Professor Hector had 2, so sorry Professor, but you're just a washed up has-been. Ah! I got the last laugh now.